worst possible thing you could say when you walk into a car dealership. I spent 5 years with Mercedes-Benz, 5 with General Motors, and the worst thing a person could say when they walk in is, if you could just get me to this payment, we got a deal.
So your loan's probably still like 19, which means you got to pay to get out. You're upside down. It's called negative equity. Welcome everybody to Car Shopping Questions and Answers, episode 13. I am your host, Deshone the Auto Advisor. Today is our Thursday, 12 p.m. live stream, and we're live on 4 platforms. For those of you who don't know me, I'd like to ask you, if this is your first time on a stream with us, could you type the number 1? Can you type the number 1 if this is your first time on a stream with us? And to those who've come back, if you've been with us before, could you type the word welcome to all the people who have been with us before? Welcome, and welcome back to those who've been with us. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Deshone. I'm publicly known as Deshone the Auto Advisor. I spent 14 years in the car business, 5 with Mercedes-Benz, 5 with General Motors. Now, since the pandemic, I've devoted my time to showing everyone willing to listen how to get below market car deals, purchases, leases, new cars, used cars. And we do that by getting bids. We stop negotiating and we get bids. And that's how we get below market deals that other people are not getting. So I'm the author of Cars from Home, the new digital book, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. I'm going to show you what it looks like. Boom. That's the cover. And we're rated 4.94 on Goodreads.com. You can get yours for 75% off for the next 30 minutes. You'll see when you visit my TikTok bio or my Instagram bio or the link in the comment section that we have for you on YouTube and Facebook that there's a timer. The book is normally $97, but you can get your copy for $24 as long as you get there before the 30 minutes is up. So I would suggest you get it and come back and join the broadcast. So my man Dolan is moderating in the background. You guys can start typing your questions and we will start to answer them one by one. We'll be on for about an hour and we'll try to get through as many questions as we can in that time. All right, Dolan, once you have the first one, feel free to throw it up. Okay, and shout out to y'all on TikTok. Could y'all tap the screen if you're going to spend a little time with us? Run those likes up like y'all always do. I appreciate you. And if you're on Facebook or YouTube, if you could hit the like button, it means a lot. It tells the algorithm we're talking big money over here, and they'll send more people who need this. This one's from Instagram. When buying used, is it wise to buy from a small lot? I'll take any, listen, as long as you've screened it down. When you screen down your used cars, first of all, when we're shopping for used cars, you want to be on every marketplace. You want to be on every marketplace that has used cars. I always compare this to like buying a TV. If you were buying a TV, you're not going to just go to Amazon. You're going to go to Walmart.com. You're going to go to Best Buy. So we want to be everywhere there's a car. And now, once you do that, and those sites we use, this is called my multiple marketplace strategy. We use Carfax.com, CarMax.com, Carvana. Don't get any ideas, because even if they're overpriced 90% of the time, they still may be the best deal 10% of the time. Most times CarMax is overpriced. Most times Carvana is overpriced, but that's not all the time. I always say Best Buy is usually overpriced for electronics, but every now and then they have the best price. So if you're not looking at them, you miss opportunities. So we use CarMax, Carvana, Driveway, Carfax.com, Cars.com, Auto Trader, Car Gurus, and eBay Motors. We're looking at all of those marketplaces, and then we're going to narrow it down. So once we narrow it down, first thing we're narrowing it down on is title history. We don't want frame damaged cars, salvage title cars, flooded cars. Title has to be right. Based on Carfax, you can use auto check, but the only reason I don't like using auto check is because we need the service records. And service records is what's the important part when you're narrowing down. You need service record that shows on Carfax. And the last thing we let narrow it down based on is accident history. Some people do no accidents. Some people say, listen, there's different accidents on the Carfax. Let's talk about that for a quick second. You'll see minor accident. You'll see accident, vehicle was drivable. Good sign. That means it could have been a fender bender. They drove away. Then you might see vehicle towed. Red flag for me. You might see airbags deployed. Red flag. So whenever you see vehicle towed, just know that was a serious accident enough to where the vehicle couldn't drive away from. So that's what we narrow it down to. Now, when I'm narrowing this down, I'm not looking at who has the car yet. It could be a small lot. It could be a major franchise. Doesn't matter. Okay. If y'all gonna spend some time with us on TikTok, can y'all tap the screen every couple minutes and keep running those likes up? Appreciate y'all. Shout out to the new people. And if this is your first time on a broadcast, type the number 1. Type the number 1. Yeah, we live, Skinner. All right. If you don't see the banner above me, that means we're live. Whenever you guys see the banner, that means you're watching one of the replays, because we replay and rebroadcast these shows all day long so that everybody can see them. When you can't finish them, you're at work, you want to tell your friends, family about them, they can catch them pretty much any time of the day on all our platforms. But whenever you don't see the banner, which tells you when we're live, then we are live. All right. So that's that. Shout out to the first time people. But that's how we're going to narrow it down. I'm less concerned about where the car is. If it goes through that process, it has great title history, great service records, great accident history, I'm open to it. Okay. Now, another one from Instagram. All right, Instagram with the questions. Today, when buying used, is it wise to buy? Oh, that's the same question. How do you get the original window sticker? We'll get it through the Carfax. We'll get it through MaroneyLabels.com if we're going to pay for it. I think there's a site called Get Clutch. I have a link. I have a link in my book, because every manufacturer doesn't do it. So every manufacturer doesn't do it. Some have agreements with Carfax and they put the window sticker on the Carfax. Some of them you got to buy it separately. But if I'm narrowing it down to 5 cars, see, we got to start looking at car buying like house buying. We really do, because for some reason people are very comfortable protecting themselves. And explain this to me. Why is it people are very comfortable protecting themselves when it comes to cars? I mean houses, but not cars. So if we'll get a $600 home inspection to tell us if we should buy the home or not. You get what I'm saying? There are things we pay when we're about to spend $2 or $3 or $4 or $500,000 on a home. But when it comes to these small things that help us guarantee the best car deal and below market car deals, we want to do everything for free. So that's up to you. A lot of it can be done for free, but if I can't get a window sticker and I got to pay $5 for it, once I narrow it down to my top 3, top 4 choices, I pay the $20 to get the original window stickers. I'm getting it. I don't care how you get it. I got a couple resources in my book on how to get it, how to get free Carfaxes, but literally I'm getting the window sticker because I'm not buying a used car without seeing the original window sticker, because you don't know what you're saving. You do not know what you're saving. And anybody who's buying a used car without knowing what the original price was, it's impossible to know how good of a deal you really got. So, all right, go ahead, Dolan. This one's from TikTok. How do you sell a lease car without the title? The same way I explained it. You don't need a title to sell any car. Who was taught you needed a title to sell a car? Type me in the comments, because this is a big one. There are people who not even leasing. There are people who have cars right now. You have a loan on it. And I used to get people who would walk in the dealership and they look at the new model, the most recent one, and they'd be like, Deshone, is that the whatever, 2019, 2020? I'm like, yeah, these just came out. Okay, I got 3 payments left. As soon as I make my last payment, I'm coming to get that one. I want to talk to you about that one. What's the reason? Why are you waiting? Other than you thought you had to have the title in your hand. It's not the way it works. You go, you sell the car, there's, you write up a purchase order, whatever the bank is that you owe, the person pays off the bank, and then the title, once the bank is paid for, the title goes to the person who bought the car with the new ownership documents. So, sometimes I forget there's little small nuances that, but in the book, and even we talk about this on the show, you guys never hear me when we talk about an equity assessment. When we do an equity assessment, which is maximizing our car's value by getting bids, we don't trade. You never hear me say, those of you who don't have your title, you can't do the equity assessment, right? So I'm just assuming that if you just follow these steps, you'll see, even if you thought you couldn't sell your car while you still had a loan on it, you'll see, well, he didn't mention I need the title, so I guess I can go ahead and sell it. Yes, you can. So, you do at least the same way. I owe 15 on my car. Buyer offers me 19, pays the 19, pays off the 15 directly, sends 15 to the bank. And example, let me give you a real life example instead of a story. When I went in, after I sold my Jeep, that was back when the pre-owned car market was very hot, once in a lifetime market. And I went in and I owed my payoff was whatever my payoff was. I went in. They made the highest offer. That's why I was there. I got all these bids. CarMax made me the highest offer at the time. I went in. They paid $20-something thousand or whatever my payoff was, and they gave me a check for $8,900. So it's the net amount. So whatever the offer is, the amount you owe the bank gets paid off, and the surplus gets paid to you. That's the equity assessment. And for those of you who don't owe any money on your car, all the money goes to you. But yeah, I mean, I don't know where we picked that up at. I don't even know where the origination of that one, quite honestly. How I do know where some things originate, but I don't know how we got to we had to have the title in our hand before we could sell our car. So yeah, let me, you don't need it. Go ahead, Dolan. And for those of you who are not familiar with the equity assessment process, I'm sure we're going to talk about it on this show because it becomes a pretty common question. So we'll get to that, I'm sure. Go ahead. Jay, what's up? This is from YouTube. How do I go about getting pre-approval with good credit? I know the car I want. Then we don't really get pre-approvals. And I'm going to tell you why. Pre-approvals, first of all, there's something called restricted pre-approvals that we want to stay away from. See, all of this became, look, every time the public does something, the car business responds to it. And they usually respond with stuff that's garbage because they're trying to capture you and take away your ability to shop. So what ends up happening is the buzzword for the last 3 years probably has been pre-approved, get pre-approved, right? Right? That's been pretty much a hot topic. So the banks just decide what we're going to do is start marketing that we'll pre-approve you. But there's 2 ways they're pre-approving you, and they're both trash. One is we'll pre-approve you to shop with our dealer group. It's Capital One, our dealer network, Drive Time, Carvana. You're pre-approved, but you can only shop here. Well, you're going to hurt yourself because what they're trying to sell you on is this variety. And understand something. Variety doesn't drive down prices. Now we're getting ready to get deep. Hopefully y'all can follow this. It's early. Hopefully you have some coffee and your mind is clear. This is serious financial conversation, but it's simple. If you walk into the Doritos factory and all they have is Doritos, there's no incentive for them to not make them all $7 a bag because it's all Doritos. You got a bunch of variety. You could have 100 flavors. You're in the Dorito factory, but you're not going to get great prices because there's no competition. So whenever you see Carvana says we have 50,000 cars to choose from, variety. Whenever you see, you can shop from our dealer network of, X number of dealers. Any one of those dealers you can shop from, variety. That does not drive down prices. That's meant to control you. Think about the Dorito factory. You're walking around CarMax, oh, you got lots of cars here, but you're still in the Dorito factory. They're all one company that's setting the price. What drives down the price is competition. Competition is what drives down the price. So when these I have a whole section in my book on this, restricted pre-approvals. We stay away from them because they're meant to funnel you into somewhere so that you can actually do business with this person instead of doing what we do, which is shopping wide. If you're shopping for a used car, you should not be limited to anybody. You just heard the first question on the show talking about will we buy a used car from a small lot. We buy a used car from whoever within 100, 150 miles of us has the absolute best value, best price, on that used car, highest discount from the original new price. That means you're not going to limit me and tell me where I can buy it. So if pre-approvals were designed to do that, then we'd be good. If pre-approvals were designed to let you go shop anywhere, then they'd be good. That's the first bad part about pre-approvals is the restricted pre-approvals. And again, I'm going to tell you why we don't do it, and I'm going to tell you what we do. So the second thing that's bad about these pre-approvals that's being marketed is they want to do a hard pull on your credit. So now we use a strategy that I created called the bank bidding war. The bank bidding, everything we do is a bid because you're not going to save the most money possible unless you're getting bids. Okay? So if you want to guarantee that you paid the lowest price on any item, it's always through a bid. It's always through multiple offers. And the opposite is true. You want to have buyer's remorse? You want to always wonder if you could have paid less? Don't get a bid. Don't get multiple offers. So when they're asking for a hard pull, what we're doing is we're avoiding that because this is the way the bank bidding war works. You are allowed, I am allowed by the credit bureaus to have multiple people run our credit with a hard pull as long as it's within a certain time period. And the way we do it, it only takes us 2 days. They give you 14 to 45 days, but this only takes 2 days the way we do it. So a hard pull on your credit will drop your credit score X number of points. Let's just say 10 points. Now, if you do the bank bidding war correctly, you could have 20 hard credit pulls on your credit and it drops your credit score the same 10 points because this is called rate shopping, not car shopping. And many people get this wrong. Many people get this wrong because you got to come out of you cannot open up the rate window first by letting anyone access your credit with a hard pull. First of all, again, we don't want to rush when we shop. We don't want to rush when we shop. So if somebody gives you a pre-approval and they say, okay, you literally, now you did a hard credit pull, now go find your car, and then you only have 30 days before that pre-approval expires, what's going to happen? If you know the bank only gave you 30 days, now what are you trying to do? You're rushing yourself, right? You trying to find a car, day 28, you starting to feel a little desperate, right? That's not what we want. That's what the banks want. That's what the dealers want. That's not what we want. So now that's why we do not let anyone access our credit with a hard pull until after we find our car. So once we find the dealer that wins the bid, and if some of you are new to the show, you're like, Deshone, what's all this stuff you're talking about bids? It's called saving money. Okay, come into our world. Okay, step out of the world that you've been in, which is negotiating to try to get money off with cars when you don't do that with any other item. No other item do you go in and say, yo, take all this money. You don't do that on Amazon. You don't do that with TVs. You don't do that at the grocery store. None of that. So you shop for cars the way you shop for nothing else. And that's what the people who are listening to me who are like, Deshone, I want to save all the money. You locked in. So if you that person, type locked in. If you're that person, if you like Deshone, forget everything else. I want to learn a new way. I'm done with this old way. Type locked in. So this is what you're doing. You are going to go get bids. get your offers on your new car or your used car or whatever you're shopping for. Once you find the one that is the best, now you're going to get the paperwork, a buyer's order, come home, and you're going to let these banks, credit unions, online lenders access your credit with a hard pull. And many of them need you to have a car before they'll even give you a loan term. Sometimes you'll reach out and you'll say, hey, I'm looking to try to get, a pre-approval, see what your terms are, see what your rates are. They'll say, okay, well, what car? What car do you have? And you're like, well, I don't have a car yet. That's why I'm calling you first. So we call them, we reach out to them when we have a car, and we're like, okay, this is what I'm looking for. I mean, this is what I have. I have it reserved. I left a deposit on it. I told the dealer I'm coming home to take care of my financing. I'll call them in 24 hours. Here's what I got. 2020 Mazda CX-5, 26,000 miles on it. Boom. What else do you need to know to give me a loan offer? So I'm doing this with 5 people from home. Then once that's done, I'm calling a dealer and saying, look, all right, this is the best offer I got. If you guys can beat it, you got the business. See, it's easy. If you're listening to me, you never got to lie. All of this stuff that people are teaching you, lying, hold back, we don't do that. Dealers enjoy the 20% of dealers that are the great dealers that have the best prices. They love doing business with us because they're competing to beat all their competition. We find them, and then we give them an opportunity to win our business. We don't say, oh, no, I'm not letting a dealer run my credit. That's bad strategy. Dealer has 7 to 10 banks that they give millions of dollars in loans to a month. Why would you not want a dealer to be seeing if they could beat your rate? The only problem is if you don't have a rate and you're letting the dealer be your first option, that's a problem. We don't do that. But that's the bank bidding war. So I haven't added it to my book yet, but when you get my book, you actually get the book, and I send you the bank bidding war blueprint. And for all of you who got the book, if you happen to have gotten my book before I came out with the bank bidding war, send us an email and we'll send you the bank bidding war, because I plan to add it to my book. I update the book. That's why I told you I made it a digital book, because I come up with new stuff, new websites come out, websites go out of business. I'm always updating the book. So with a digital book, I'm not charging you every time I update it. I just update the book and everyone gets it. So if you happen to have the book and you don't have the bank bidding war, definitely connect with us by email and we'll get you the bank bidding war, because I just released it within the last couple weeks. But yeah, that's the bank bidding war. And that's how you leave never asking. You should never be asking, what's a good rate right now? How much is too high of an interest rate? These are all questions you ask because you don't get bids. You don't know how to get bids. Once you start getting bids, you never ask these questions again. You'll leave knowing, man, I had like 15, 20 people competing for my rate. I know I got the best rate. That's the name of the game. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next question up. We are live, y'all. This is our Thursday, 12 p.m. show. You're not watching the rebroadcast unless you see the banner up top, then you're watching it. But we're live right now. Okay, Donna from Instagram. How do you ensure the car seller makes a decent wage and gets a deal at the same time? God bless you. They make a decent wage if they win the bid and they sell you a car. It's too intricate for you to try to understand. No one's losing money here. This isn't a charity case. And so let me tell you something about me. I set up a system where people buy cars in 60 to 90 minutes. So I know a lot of you think that I'm all for the public, which I am, but I'm also for the 20% car dealers. So I had to set up a system where both people win. The 20%. 80% can't survive in the world we're going to create. 80% can't win because they're not going to compete. They're going to give you high prices. All good. That's great. But the 20%, what we didn't like is spending so much time with people who don't even know a deal, don't know, like you're questioning every single thing because you don't have enough information. That's why. So you're nervous, you're defensive, hard to help you. I'll be sitting down with somebody, I'm sitting down with a customer and I'm making them an offer with a deal, and my manager is hoping they don't take it just because he doesn't want to sell a car for that cheap. But we're making them that offer, they're still questioning it because they don't have bids. So this created, this created nightmare situations for good car salespeople and horrible experiences for you. So with my system, you're online. The only time you're in a dealer is for 20 minutes to test drive the car. So when a person sells a car, if they're going to make a flat commission because they had to give away, there's something called a flat commission where you didn't make a lot of profit. I'd rather make it in 20 minutes. So the car salespeople who win our business love us. They love, all of these people that you see, and you guys know, I will share these people. I share everybody. Look, Tiffany, who used the book, she got $6,000 off of her Mazda just a couple days ago. That is, she didn't spend more than 20 minutes with the salesperson. I don't even know if that's the person she test drove the car with. It might not be. So this person who won her business literally is going to spend maybe 30 minutes with her total. So what? He's not making a huge commission. If he ends up making $150 flat, he'd rather, and I've asked car salespeople this over my years of educating the public on how to shop from home. I said, let me ask you a question. Would you rather, y'all being stingy with the likes on TikTok? Can we tap the screen if y'all spending time with us? Thank you. Can we tap the screen? Can we share? We ain't asking for money. We asking for just tap the screen if you're enjoying the show. All right. Don't let me listen. I'll be getting them. Thank y'all. Appreciate you running it up. So when you see that, I appreciate you wanting dealers to make money. But the best thing you could do if you really want good dealers to be okay is learn how to shop from home correctly so you can stop wasting people's time. So you can stop being with people for 2 hours, 3 hours, 6 hours that you don't buy a car from. That's really what I want you to do, because when you learn how to get cars in 60 minutes from home, car salespeople are gonna love you. Because even if I didn't make a huge commission of $1,000 or $800 or $1,500 on this particular deal, that's okay. And $1,500 commissions are very rare. You had to make a lot of profit on the deal, 10 grand profit probably. Bring home 20%. Now you got to make probably 7 grand to 10 grand, profit, and people will make it. There are people who overpay. And so there's people who pay average prices and above average prices, but we don't pay either. So it's the time. I don't care if I make $150 with you if I only spent 30 minutes with you. And the only way you're doing that is shopping online. You're not doing that. I've tried. I think I was pretty quick. There were some people quicker than me, but I certainly tried to go into, and a customer knows what they want. Come on, man, Mr. Jones. I know what you want. We'll get this done very quickly. Hour and a half tops, 2 hours really tops, because you got the finance office. You got all this stuff that has to happen. We got to clean the car. So 2 hours is really, if on a quick deal. Most of them, 3, 4. How many hours you guys spend picking up your cars? Be honest. How many hours did you put into your last car purchase at the dealership? Throw some numbers out. Look, Lexi, baby, 4. Look, throw some numbers out. Okay, people don't what? We don't want to be honest. How many hours? Sometimes maybe I'll ask how many days did you put into your last car deal? Have me in there about an hour. That's quick. You must have did a lot before. Half the day, Thomas. That's more like it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you to everyone willing to share. And I had to come back the next day still. Thank you. Okay. So yes, I talk a lot about money. Look, 6 hours. Poobie Bear on Instagram. 6 hours. 4 hours. So no one that you're seeing here, I'll run down the list. Boom. Not only are these people saving all the money. Look, $690 a month on Totes BMW. Greg, $527 a month, his $56,000 Kia truck. Look, Danielle, $550 a month for her Audi. Not only are they saving all the money, they're not in the dealer more than 30 minutes. That's why the dealers love them. That's why the dealers love us. I'm never going to create a system that's painful for car dealers. I would be hypocritical to do that. I created a system where when you use it, the people you do business with love you because you're like, man, listen, this is one of the quickest deals. Some of you saw when I got my Infinity truck. I wish I could find that video. Matter of fact, hold on. Before we go to the next question, because I don't want anyone, because some of y'all don't know me. Y'all don't know, okay, is this guy telling the truth? We really getting cars? This was me picking up my Infinity truck right here. This is when I got the Infinity truck. Hold on, I'm gonna find a video. I'm going into my hold on, where we at? Day five. Here we go. Look, let me share my screen. And I picked it up and I posted this on Instagram because I want people to know we really do this. We don't say we do this. We really do this. Look. Now, there we go. All right, skip that. Oh, here we go. Boom. Do we understand? I know y'all can't see it on TikTok. You got to watch the rebroadcast because we're live on TikTok. We stream live from the device. Do you understand? This is not a game. This is not a game. If you when you learn that you've been conditioned to think that somehow spending time on my car deal means I saved all the money. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Looking at multiple options, multiple offers while you sit at home, knowing how to screen those offers down so that you know you got the below market prices. Looking at 5 offers on new cars and leases minimum, 5 offers minimum because 80% of dealers are overpriced. This is what guarantees below market prices. You don't need to be in a dealer to get that. In fact, there's no way for you to get it in a dealer. I will be so bold to make the statement, and I'll just ask you, if you think you can get it, when you get your car, bet me $500 that I can't get a better price than you. That's what I'm saying. Bet me $500 when you get your car, any car you get, if you don't use what I'm teaching you, if you tell Deshone, all that stuff sounds good, getting bid, but I want to do it my way. Bet me $500 that I can't find a much, much better deal than you as soon as you get your car. I'm willing to put the money up because I know bids is what gets us these prices you guys see on the shows. Bids is what allows people to come in and save money. Okay? Did y'all see that? Could y'all hear that? Let me know, could y'all hear that when I was playing that? Were y'all able to hear that when I was playing it? Before I move on to the next question, before I have Dolan pulling the... Why didn't y'all say something? See, we got too many people on here. We got too many people on here, y'all, for y'all to let me play an entire 1-minute video and not say you couldn't hear it. All right. Yeah, I don't know what to do. All right, listen. It is what it is. What I asked the guy was, how much time did we put into the whole process? He said 45 minutes. I said, take the test drive out of it. Take me and Monique test driving out of it. How much time did we spend? He said 20, 25 minutes top. Come on, lock in, y'all. Lock in. Go ahead, Dolan. Throw the next question up. Instagram. How do you tell the dealership you want to take the car to the mechanic before purchasing? You don't. Dealership's not going to let you take the car to a mechanic before purchasing. It's too much liability. If you crash the car, if it has an accident, mechanic messes up the car, only thing you could do is have a company like yourmechanic.com come and meet you at the dealer. That's why whenever I'm buying a used car, I'm not taking it the same day. DJ Flay, I thought it was a silent film. This is hilarious. So yeah, we never take a used car the same day because one, we got to do it even if we're paying cash though. I mean, even if we're paying cash. But if you're doing the bank bidding war, we can't take a car the same day because we need to go home and we need to start the bank bidding war. But if you're paying cash and the car has a good warranty and you've done the math, okay, maybe you don't need to have a mechanic inspected. But if you want to have a mechanic inspected, then it's always I'm leaving a deposit and then I'll have either my mechanic come. And again, this goes back to you're paying to protect yourself. I got a mechanic here that I've been using for years, me and my family. If I told him, hey, look, I'm gonna pay you, let me know when you got an hour and a half. I'm gonna pay you for the time. Come take a look at this car with me. I got a reserve. He'll be like, no problem. I throw him $125. He'll come, check it out for me, tell me if I'm good or not. He can't put it on a lift, so that's the bad thing. But again, it's better than me just thinking with my non-mechanic self, I guess the car looks good. Sounds good, I think. No, these are the things that we got to do if we want to protect ourselves. And understand, there's horror stories for a reason, y'all. Horror stories are very common. Cars breaking down. It's weird. All I can do is give you boundaries. And when I give you the boundaries, then you can choose what you want to do with them. You can choose if you want to, adhere to them. You can choose if you want to ignore them, but at least they're there. So yeah, I would always have, with no warranty on a car, I would always have my mechanic come out. And if you don't have a mechanic, then I pay a company like yourmechanic.com. I think they charge $100, $150 to come out, send one of their mechanics to inspect the car for you. I see it just like a home inspection. I don't see it any different. Any different. Go ahead, Dolan. Okay, I had a financial advisor tell me get rid of my car. I did. Oh, wait, I had this one's from Instagram. I had a financial advisor tell me to get rid of my car. I did, however. I really need another one, but they repoed the vehicle. It's been around January. Okay, I'm trying to understand. So he told you get rid of your car, but you need another one. Get a very inexpensive car. It sounds like you're in a position where you need to get the least expensive car you possibly can. I call that a smart car, saving money at the right time. Cars that are, under 10 grand. If you're trying to get a loan on it, that's what you would be trying to get. But if they repo the vehicle, you're going to have a tough time getting I would get it. If I got my vehicle repoed, my next car is a small car. I'm looking for something that the smallest car I could get a loan on, 25 grand brand new, 30 grand brand new, because that means if I get it for about 10 grand, I still should be able to get a 6-year-old one, something not too old, 7. See, the problem is when you say, oh, I want the SUV and I want the 3 rows and, I want the leather and all of that. And now, okay, in order to get a car about 10 grand, you're going to get a 2009 or you're going to get a 2011 with 110,000 miles on it. See, we got to learn how to sacrifice in certain cases. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to anyone else who may be watching this, who may be in a situation where you're in a rebuild. It's called a rebuild for a reason. We're not looking to stunt in a rebuild. We're not looking to flex on them in a rebuild. We're looking to say, look, I got to get from point A to point B. What I need is 2 things, a quality car, and I need to not miss any payments if I'm going to get a loan on this. So when you go out and you get, I got my credits are 500, but I'm gonna go and I'm gonna get a $20,000 car that they're gonna charge. I'm gonna pay 20+% interest on it, so my payment's gonna probably be 600. Now I'm paying 600, and the $20,000 car may not even be a quality car. May got 80,000, 90,000 miles on it. So now stuff starts breaking. I got my $600 payment, and now the car's in the shop, but I still owe my 600. Okay. Here comes another repo. So this is disaster. I've seen this. This is a formula. I call this the repo recipe. So if you're in a rebuild, the name of the game is seeing, first of all, Am I a long-term person, 8+ years, or am I a short-term person, less than 8 years? Because if you're a short-term person, your goal is to lease. You may not know it yet, but some of the people who've been on this show, you understand the depreciation curve. This is where you lose all the money right here. Year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you're losing all the money. Once you get to about year 7, 8, it starts to level out. Your vehicle's not losing that much value anymore. That's when you want to own it. That's when you've won. That's not when you want to replace it. You don't want to say, hey, this is people. Oh, Deshone, I got 6 years of payments. Oh, I just paid the car off. Right when it was going to start leveling out depreciation wise. Oh, I'm going to get rid of it now. Lost all that money in depreciation. Now I'm going to get rid of it. So you need to know, if you're not an 8-year, 9-year, 10-year person, then you shouldn't be buying cars. You should be shopping for great lease deals. But you may not qualify for a lease right now. So your mission should be to qualify for a lease in the future, which means I'm going to drive a car that's not my ideal car. I'm going to drive a car I may not even like, but it's going to be reliable and it's going to be affordable. Reliable and affordable. And I'm going to drive that for 2 years, make every payment on time, and then I'm going to switch into another car, brand new lease. Or if I'm purchasing, because I'm a long-term person, I'll switch and I'll if you're purchasing, if you're a long-term person, you could get a car now, pay a higher interest rate, and refinance later. That's why you need to know who you are. But if you're a long-term person, 8+ year person, you could get a great car, reliable, and then refinance the loan. But you got to know who you are, because I see tons of people all around this country in here who are not in a position where their credit is good, but you have not come up with a goal and understood leasing. So what you're going to end up doing is financing a very expensive car, 20, 30 grand, and you're going to end up with a lot of negative equity. And every time you go to change your cars every 3, 4, 5 years, you're wondering why you have all this negative baggage and why your payments keep getting higher, your cars keep getting lower in quality. And that there's a reason for that. That's the reason. I just explained to you the reason. It's like a snowball that you're rolling that's against you, versus what I'm telling you to do is to have a plan so that you know, all right, I can't qualify for a lease right now, but in 2 years I will. So I'm gonna make sure I'm not gonna do anything right now that's gonna mess up my chances of getting a lease in 2 years. And if I'm not a lease person and I'm keeping this car 8 years, then I gotta get a great car and I'm gonna pay higher interest. But when the interest rates come down, when I fix my credit in a year or two, I'm gonna refinance. 2 different people, but you must know who you are. We clear? We clear on that? Type clear if y'all clear on that. Okay? All right, go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next one up. What are the benefits, if any, of buying an electric or a hybrid vehicle? You need to know that. I mean, it's different for different people. Environment, some people, depends. That's a personal thing. A lot of people think that electric cars, I remember when I worked for Mercedes, we thought hybrids were good for people who drove a lot. So I was uneducated on hybrids. It's actually good for people who drive in the city, because every time you hit the brake, it would regenerate the battery. So that might just be Mercedes hybrids. That might be all hybrids. I don't know. But your reason for buying a hybrid or an electric car should be your reason based on your research. And so plenty of people, most people are not buying electric cars. Some people are. Some people buy hybrids. Frina was looking at a Jeep Grand Cherokee, and she was looking at a Jeep Grand Cherokee gas version. And I remember she hit me and she said, Deshone, the dealer that made me the best offer on this Jeep Grand Cherokee gas, it was like a 1.2% lease. And she said, he's saying, and that was the lowest bid out of all the bids she got. 1.2% lease. And she said, but he's saying he might have he's saying he could do a better deal on this other one, which is a hybrid. And she said, what do you think? Because she's in a private group. Everybody who wants to know about, my private group, you want to attend my free masterclass, it's in the comment section. You can attend my free masterclass. It's an hour long. It's called Everything You're Doing Wrong, Buying, Selling, and Leasing Cars. And it's in my TikTok or Instagram bio. You can go and you can attend the masterclass if you want to find out more about my private group and my coaching program. But she said, so do you think I should just like have him like rework the deal? I said, look, if you're going to switch cars, pay attention, y'all, this is very important. Even though he won the bid on the gas version, you want to make sure you rerun the bids on that car. She said, okay, because she said, based on what he's telling me, he could get me to like 1% on the hybrid one. I said, okay, run the bids. She hit me 24 hours later. She said, you're not going to believe this. Lowest offer I got on the hybrid version is 0.88. Showing the deal right now. That was $579 a month. $66,000 truck. $579 a month. No money out of pocket. So if you don't rework the deal, what question was I answering that I got on that? What question was I just answering? Oh, there we go. Thank you. Thanks, Dolan. My man Dolan coming through for me. So she didn't have a preference necessarily of hybrid. That opportunity presented itself. All hybrids don't have incredible programs. So I think you make the decision, Natalie, on what you want, and then you shop the offers on that car. That's it. It's so many cars out here, y'all. It's hundreds of cars to choose from. Pick the one that you like, get the offers on them. And spend your time shopping. If you're getting a new car or a lease, you should be out test driving. This is the fun part. Eventually getting bids, that'll be fun for y'all because you'll be in control. But, for your first time, you're still going to be a little nervous. But the fun part is really getting in the car and going and test driving. All right. And going to another dealer, test driving. You're about to make a $40,000, $50,000 decision. Some of you more, some of you $80,000. You're buying luxury cars, $100,000 decision. Take a day and go and drive these products that they're spending millions of dollars on, hoping you would at least come test drive. I've had people that's like, oh, I want the Honda Pilot. Oh no, the girl said, I want the new Honda CR-V hybrid. I like the look. I said, did you drive it? Nah, but that's what I got my eye on. I said, go drive it. Well, she went and drove. That's why we have a whole step in our process for this called shopping, not buying. She went and drove it. She said, yo, you know what's crazy? I like the look, but I ain't like the way it drove. I said, that's why it's important. Imagine if you would have did your whole deal online, got the thing delivered. Now in 3 months, you're sitting here like, you know what? I don't really like this. So don't discount your shopping experience, especially because using it our way, you only did 20 minutes. Don't talk numbers. Keep that rule in mind. That's in my book. Those of you who have my book know this. We don't talk numbers. Those of you who are like, what book are you talking about, Deshone? My new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. That's where I'm teaching out of. Everything on this show is what I'm teaching out of that book. And you can get your copy for 75% off. It's normally $97. You'll get it for $24 in my TikTok bio, as long as you get there before the 30 minutes expires. Also in my Instagram bio, click that website, and then on Facebook and YouTube in the comment section. And if you happen to be watching us on TV, you can scan this QR code right here with your mobile phone and get yours for 75% off. All right. And now you have everything I teach in one blueprint in one spot. Okay, Renico from YouTube. 1 year into my Kia Soul lease, this was not the car I wanted. I want to trade the Soul in for a 2022 Kia Sorento. Is it possible, or should I wait for another year to lease the Sorento? Listen, great question. Perfect example of what I just said of why we don't discount the shopping process from now on. So you can't break a contract. The only way you can get out of the lease is if you can sell it. So you do the equity assessment. Now follow this. You're going to call your bank, call your leasing company. You're going to get the payoff. And then you're going to ask do I have a third-party restriction? Those are the two questions. Payoff, do I have a third-party restriction? Then go on the 6 sites, get your bids. Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, CarMax, AutoNation, Sell My Car, Car Guru, Sell My Car, Driveway. Every time you see, is your car leased, financed, or owned, you want to put owned, because you want the straight value. When you put lease, it triggers something on their website. So just always put owned so you can see the values. If you have a third-party restriction, you're going to have to sell to a Kia dealership. If you don't have a third-party restriction, you can sell to the highest bidder, provided you have equity. So if you see that, your payoff is 18 and the offers are 20, then you can get out. If you see that it's 18 and the offers are 18, that's going to be tough. So you got to see what your equity position is. That's the main thing. And what I do is you just wait and you just look. If you go into a dealer, they can put you in a new car. So if there's no doubt, like you can literally go in, they'll just stretch you out into a long loan on the Kia Sorento. You're going from a lease to buy. So I assume you're going to be keeping the Kia Sorento for at least 8 years. If not, you should be leasing, not buying. But I'm just going to assume you're not going to break the 8-year rule. If you don't know about it, we talk about it all the time on this stream. People who are not keeping their cars 8 years, you are overpaying by thousands of dollars by not getting great lease deals. It's not even close. Thousands of dollars, not hundreds. So I'm assuming you're going to buy and keep, but what you're going to do, anybody can transfer you. Take all that negative money, throw it into the new car. Now you're paying for the old car and the new car. You got the new car, but so if you got a 5-year, 6-year loan, literally you're driving that new Kia Sorento, that 2022, and that is in the actual, it's with you. I'm glad, Renico. It's a great name. So you're in when you roll that over because of impatience, that 6-year loan that you're putting on the new car, the old car is with you the whole time. So until the day you make your last payment on the new car, you're paying for the old car that you got out of. That doesn't make sense unless it's just a desperate scenario. So I would do what you said. Wait. If it doesn't make sense, do the equity assessment. If it doesn't make financial sense to get out, wait, coast in it. It's a brand new car. Listen, be ashamed if you had to drive around in a brand new car for the next couple of years. So just, but use it as a learning lesson to make sure next time you shop the way, you shop in a way that protects you from having to go through this again, because this is not what it should be. Okay. And it's not meant for you to replace a car this fast. It's expensive to do. There's penalties in doing this because the depreciation of a car is just too deep. It's just you lose 20% the first year. Doesn't matter whether you leased it, bought it, does not matter. So when you go and try to replace it, you're dealing with deep depreciation of what you got. And now you're like, oh, well, I'm tired of it. See, people who never do this are cash buyers. If you pay cash for cars, those are the only people that clearly understand this. If you are in pain, I have to work to help you understand this if you don't pay cash for cars. Because if you pay cash for a $30,000 car and then you said, you know what, I'm tired of it. Nah, this wasn't the car I wanted. And you brought it back to the dealer and they said, okay, well, look, I know you only had the car 3 months, but we can only give you 25 for it. You're like, wait, I only had 3. Yeah, it's a used car. It's been titled. You're not going to take that deal, right? No one's going to pay 30 grand, turn around and take 25 in 3 months. So, but what when you are getting payments and loans, it doesn't change. It's still, you paid 30, they're giving you 25, but they're financing it. So that loss of the 5 grand, it's hidden in the monthly payment. That's why it's all about, what do you want your payment to be? What do you want your payment to be? What do you want your payment to be? Because once you see that you're losing a ton of money in a short period of time, you wouldn't do this. So it's hard for people with payments to understand. That's why I have to make it clear for you. The depreciation doesn't lie. The unseen expense doesn't lie. So we don't want to replace cars in a year or 2 years. It's just not made for that. All right, but run the equity assessment, Renico, and see if that works out and see if by chance you could break even and get out early. Okay? Go ahead, Dolan, shoot the next one up. Okay, Precision Soundworks. A great part about following the book is when you're car shopping, you know what you're not going to get sucked into a sales number presentation. Amen. Just drive and say, I'll hit you up when I'm ready. Amen. I'm glad, and I'm so glad to hear you saying this, Precision Works, because I'm trying to teach people, all I can teach people is our world is different. And the world that they're in is painful. It's painful. But when you understand that you can be in control, when you stop talking numbers in the dealership, when you have the right online strategies, you're going to the website, you're getting bids, you know how to look at used cars, you're narrowing these things down. The way I'm teaching you, listen, there's not much that's in my book that I haven't talked about on these streams. There's not much that's in my book that I haven't talked about in my videos. The difference is it's step by step. So when you hear somebody who asks me about a used car, and then somebody asks me about a lease, and then somebody asks me about paying cash, and then someone asks me about, hey, how do I get the best loan? This is all different types of people. So you might be like, oh, this question is not for me. That question is not for me. So you have to piece it together. And if you can, God bless you. We're not holding back. But for those who are like, Deshone, I just want the step by step, no interruptions in the process, no confusion. That's my book. So I'm glad you're enjoying the Precision Work. Make sure you send me your deal so I can bring it onto the show whenever you get a car. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Okay, Marisol, YouTube. I'm looking to buy a 2025 model car. Am I able to negotiate the MSRP price? If so, how low should I start? 5% off. So you're new to the 80-20 philosophy. 80% of dealers are overpriced. So I'm saying this based on the fact that, you know, I have 1,600 people I've worked with in my coaching program, in my video course, and then I have probably 5,000-6,000 people that have gotten my book. So I have people from all around the country since 2021 sending me the deals they get, reporting me the deals, offers. So whenever you see, look, somebody like Greg, he said, offers the range. Hold on, no, it was Charles. Whenever we see the range 1.2 to 1.66, I always tell people, if you don't see a $3,000 to $5,000 difference between your offers, you didn't do it right. Because we get at least 5 offers because 4 are overpriced. So which means, and you don't know how bad they're overpriced. They could be $100 a month overpriced. They could be thousands, if they could be $3,000 overpriced, $5,000 overpriced. If you have some of these vehicles where they're marking them up, $5 grand, 10 grand over sticker, they could be 7, 10 grand overpriced. You don't know. You just know, we know 4 out of 5 are overpriced. That's the numbers. So if you are by chance going in and thinking, I'm going to negotiate based on any made up number in my head, you're going to lose because you just don't know what the bottom is. You don't know what the bottom is. Feeling for the bottom is a bad way to go because you're never content. You always question, was that really the bottom? You think we could have did better? And you have no price assurance, which means if I said, listen, Marisol, you just got your vehicle, bet me $500 that I can't find a better price vehicle in 48 hours. You wouldn't take the bet. No price assurance. So what I want you to do is just scrap that whole strategy. And I want you to focus on driving the car, make sure you like it. Once you decide you like it, we're going to get 5 offers. You could do this your way by calling. You want to talk to sales managers, ask them, hey, I need 5 offers because 4 are going to be overpriced. That's just it. 80% of dealers are overpriced. 80% of dealers sell for all the money they possibly can. 80% of dealers don't want to compete with their competition. 80% of dealers are not going to go below a certain price. That's them. 20% is who we focus on. The 20% of dealers that want to compete, 20% of dealers that beat all their competition, 20% of dealers that save us all the money. And there is no way for me to tell you what that number is going to be because it's vehicle specific. When you get bids, look at Sean. I use Sean for an example. Sean got a $20,000 discount on his F-150 Lightning. That was his best deal. Over 20, look, $73,000. And you see, he revealed, he didn't know it was a $15,500 rebate, but the dealer, the 20% dealer that made him this offer, told him that. He didn't see that from all dealers he got offers from. Every dealer is not going to tell you all the rebates or if there's a rebate. He got another $4,900 from the winning dealer, and that was the deal. Kimberly saves $20,000 from her Maserati. Look, $86,000. The selling price was $66,261. That's 20 grand. Now, in the case of Eddie got a new Toyota Camry hybrid. He got bids, all the bells and whistles. He said, I was able to get everything I wanted plus more, $2,086.83 under MSRP. That was his best bid from reaching out to multiple Toyota dealers. $2,086 under MSRP. It depends. It changes. You don't know. And you can't take one big discount and say, Sean's not going to say, well, because I saved 20 grand on my F-150, when I go to shop for my Mazda CX-5, I'm expecting 20 grand. No, I'm going to shop the market, get bids, and I'll reveal what is the below market offer for a Mazda CX-5. In the case of his Ford, the below market offer was 20 grand off. In the case of Kimberly's Maserati, the below market deal was 20 grand off. But if we went in thinking these numbers are making up and saying, you know what, I'm going to try to get 5% under MSRP, we're losing. So scrap that whole strategy. Use mine. Or you could try to do it your way. Either way, 5 offers. Without 5 offers, you're not saving all the money and you will have no price assurance. 5 offers. In my book, I teach something called the 25 to 5 strategy. That's what I created. We're connecting with 25 dealers online. Those of you who have the book know it takes us about 20 minutes because we go direct to the websites. We don't go to third-party sites where they're selling our information to the dealer. We go right to the dealer's websites. I got a link in there that links you to all the dealers by zip code. So you put in your zip code and we go to each website. We copy and paste. I have a template we use. It says, hey, my name is such and such. I'm in the market for this car. These are all the options I'm looking for. This is my as soon as date I can make a deal. This is my no later than date. We give them all the information we need. Here's what I'm looking for, my option. Now we're sending that to all of these dealers. And then the goal out of 25 is to see who has a car. And then once we find out of 25 who has a car, well, we might see 10 dealers have a car that I'm interested in. That's another reason why it benefits to shop the numbers. Because when you only shop in 2 dealers, like the statistics say you do, the statistics show that you guys shop 2 dealers. That's what the statistics show, 2 dealers. And as car salespeople, we know that. We know that. So when you're shopping 2 dealers, whatever they have on their lots or have coming in, that's all that's interesting. That's all we can shop from. That's why it's like, oh, I don't have that color. Oh, I don't have one with those options. We're shopping from 25 dealers. We got a good shot of 8 to 10 having something we're interested in. And then we have other copy and paste scripts to request our quotes, give them everything they need to give us a quote. And then we have scripts to keep the conversation moving when they try to get us on the phone, which they will, 80% will, which, hey, try to get us to come in, 80% will. Hey, hey, listen, we could only give you a quote if you're here in the showroom. Okay, well, I'm talking to a couple of dealers. No one else has said that. Should I remove you from my list? All our emails end with a question. Whenever you're emailing a dealer, should always end with a question, not a statement, because the question pushes the ball back to them. So that's what we're doing, 25 to 5. Our goal when connecting with 25 dealers is to get 5 offers. And out of those 5, 1 offer is going to beat everybody else, and that's who we do business with. That entire process takes us 60 to 90 minutes. 60 to 90 minutes. It's beautiful. So if you're like, Deshone, I want to use your process, you can do it your way. You want to call around? I'm just telling you, get 5 offers. You could do it my way. In my book, 75% off in my TikTok bio or in my Instagram bio. Click that link and get your copy for 75% off, or in the comment section on YouTube and Facebook if you just came on the show. But that's the 25 to 5, and you won't have price assurance and you won't save all the money until you start to get 5 offers. Everything is a bid. All right. That's what I'm telling. My favorite words: bids, multiple offers, multiple options, price assurance. These are my favorite words. When you start using this stuff, they're going to be your favorite words too. I guarantee you. Go ahead, Dolan. Do you always have to have a down payment when purchasing a car? No, never. Never. Now, down payments are not illegal. That was one of the worst videos to go viral. But when a video goes viral, you can't combat it. So, if people looked into that law, they would see this law has nothing to do with down payments. So down payments are not illegal, but you can every single thing we shop for is no down payment. When we're shopping for leases, we request all our lease quotes, first month's payment total out of pocket. We don't, you guys, some of you know who's been on the stream, I don't even like you using the words down payment. We use total out of pocket, total due at signing, not down payment. But we're doing first month's payment due at signing, 12,000 miles per year, all taxes and fees rolled into the payment. That's how we request our lease quotes. Now, we have high mileage drivers who do high mileage leases, 20, 25, 30,000 miles a year, but you always adjust it after you found the best dealer. Once you found the dealer who wins the bid, that's when you're now going to go in and adjust the mileage for your custom strategy, for your custom needs. Okay. All right. Listen, I appreciate it. Please readjust the quote to 18,000 miles per year, and then we'll take it across. That's when you're going to say, all right, you know what? I'm already under 1.5. I'm under 1.3, whatever it is. As long as you're under 1.5, you got a deal. As long as it's the best bid. Because some people say, oh, I went in, and I cannot stand this. But it's unfortunate that people think they're using what I teach, but they're not. They'll go in and say, Deshone, yeah, I was talking to the car salesman. I told him, you got to get me under 1.5. I said, what are you doing? I didn't say it. I don't even think I responded to it because I don't want people to feel like they failed. But that's not what I teach. I'm never targeting 1.5. I'm targeting 5 offers, and the only way 1.5 gets approved is if it's the lowest out of the 5, which means I know the lease program isn't great. But if I see 1.45 and then there's another lease quote for 1.6, 1.8, 1.9, now I know this 1.5 is the deal. And the dealers often will tell you, listen, I'm giving you a big discount, but the lease program's not that good. That's what's making it 1.5. So I don't have a problem with that, but I'm never going in targeting 1.5, because if I target 1.5 and other people would have came in and offered me 1.3, 1.2, but I'm not getting bids and I'm leaving thinking I won. No, I lost. So that's how we shop for our lease quotes. No money out of pocket. When we shop for our purchases, we're separating our loan, which is our monthly payments and our terms, from the car. So this is going to be easy for you once you really see that your loan is separate from the car. You are looking, if you're buying a used car, you're looking for the best price used car in the market, 100 miles, 150 miles. You're narrowing it down. Once you find a dealer who has that car, you've already won on the price of the asset. Check. Now we're going to handle the loan. And if you say, hey, I'm going to do this loan for this amount. Now I have a tool that, listen, some stuff is hard to explain because I actually created something called the perfect budget calculator. Let me show you. So this is the perfect budget calculator. Just so y'all listen, I'm gonna share this with y'all. This is in my book. And just so you know, the only reason that I can't explain this stuff, because how can I explain technology that I created? So this is the perfect budget calculator. This is what it does. This is how we're able to shop with no money down. We enter the equity that we may have from our old vehicle. Let's say we're selling our old vehicle All right. Or let's say we don't have an old vehicle. Put 0 there. Now we enter max down payment. Now this is a comfortable amount. This might be like, because this is how it usually happens. You know what? I could put $3,000 down if I had to. I don't want to, but if I had to, I put $3,000 down. Okay, that's what goes there. Okay. Then we use the average interest rate in the market. For the sakes of this purpose, let's use 7.99. Interest rates are high right now. Then we enter comfortable monthly payment. Comfortable monthly payment, $450 a month. Now we enter our state so we can calculate the taxes and calculate budget goals. And it asks, okay, what's your comfortable monthly payment for 60 months? Let's say we do the same thing. All right. And then it gives you goals, gives you 6 goals. This is your max vehicle purchase price right here. See, there's never been anything like this. This is why you go in saying, I don't want to spend more than $450. You end up spending $600. This is why you go in saying, you know what, I'm gonna spend $30,000 on a car. You end up spending 32, 33 because you forgot about the taxes and the fees. We never shop with our max in mind. So this becomes our first goal. Our first goal gets us to our car, no equity, no down payment. Our second goal gets us to with a 5-year loan. Now, our second goal gets us to, if we get a car in this price, we can do a 6-year loan, no equity, no down payment. So this is where you need to be right here if you want to do no down payment. This is where you want to be. So you need to know, based on where you want to be payment-wise, and whether you're taking a 5 or 6-year loan, how much car can I afford? That includes the taxes and the fees. So there was no way for me to explain this to you. In fact, I used to have a 20-minute video that I walked people through, and it was a perfect budget exercise. We did all that manually. Everything that I built the calculator to do manually, you guys got to see it on the replay. Because if you're on Instagram or YouTube or Facebook, TikTok doesn't let us pull this streaming software in. So you guys got to see it on the replay. You could go watch the YouTube videos right after the show is done, and you can see how I just showed you this. Or if you get my book, you can actually use the perfect budget calculator in 5 minutes. So what that allows you to do is go in knowing where your starting point is, knowing where your max vehicle purchase price is. That's how people go over budget all the time. Going in, all you have in mind is math. Oh, I don't want to be no more than $450 a month. $450 a month. That's all you're thinking about. Or if the bank tells you, okay, you're pre-approved for $30,000. What does that actually mean? Okay, great. I'm pre-approved for $30,000. What does that mean? 5-year loan, 6-year loan? What about my payment? My payment, I don't want it to be more than this. Plus, I got $2,000 I could put down. How does that factor in? So when you get to the max monthly payment, when you get to goal 6, using the perfect budget calculator, you are using a 6-year loan, your max loan, and your down payment, but you're still under budget. So anything below that, you gotta there's no easy way for me to explain it to you. That's why I had to create a software that actually does it for you. But you need to know, in order to get a car with no down payment that you're purchasing, not leasing, because I gave you how we shop for them with leases, but that I'm purchasing, I need to know how much car can I afford based on the taxes and fees that I'm going to pay for a car, taxes for my state. Figure we estimate $1,000 for a documentation fee in motor vehicles. That has to be factored in. And then a 5 or 6-year loan, all of this stuff. So, yeah. So we got a lot of calculators. Because it was just a lot of stuff that I'm a math person. And so I can explain stuff to a math person. I can try to make things simple, and I try my best to make these numbers simple. But the best thing that I was able to do was create calculators that would do this stuff that I don't have to explain to people the numbers anymore. And my goal is to put lots of calculators out eventually that do pretty much everything. Like people who are over mileage on their lease. You got to see, should I end the lease early and take the mileage penalty now, or take the payment penalty? Should I go to distance? And there's so many financial calculations in cars that thank God I've been blessed to understand that I can't explain to you. So I had to build a software that you punch your situation in, and then it tells you everything. Okay. But yeah, you can absolutely get cars with no money down. It's not even, only people that can't are super, credit's too bad, or you have too much negative equity. And even if your credit's bad, you still can get cars with no down payment. It's really the negative equity. The negative equity from your old car is really what prevents most people from doing no money down deals, because the bank is only going to approve 15, 20, 25% above the purchase price of the car. So if the purchase price is 30, they'll approve 36 as a loan. They'll loan 36, they'll lend 36,000 on a $30,000 car. They're not going to lend 40,000 on a $30,000 car. They're not going to lend. So if you have 10 grand of negative equity that you're trying to transfer, that's preventing the no money down deals for most people. Other than that, everybody can do no money down deals if they so choose. All right. So everything we talked about today was based out of my book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's the step-by-step process to mastering the science of car shopping. And the first time you do it, you're already a master. There's no test to take. The first step in the process is the most important question, which I'm going to help you know clearly whether you should lease or buy based on how long you keep in the car. And step 7 is delivery. So by the end of this, when time you get to step 7, I'm congratulating you, and we're like, okay, let's set up if the dealer is going to deliver the car or if we're going to go pick it up. That's delivery. So it's not this book you read and say, okay, all right, I'm ready for the quiz now. Let's take our test. No, every step is an action. Equity assessment, budget tool, choosing your car, shopping for it, doing a check to make sure it doesn't have any bad data out there like electrical issue software, and then getting offers, then paperwork, then delivery. It's a walkthrough. So you can get your copy for 75% off in my TikTok bio, in my Instagram bio, or we have a comment pinned in the YouTube and Facebook section. Or if you're watching us on television, you can scan the QR code and use the strategies, everything I teach in one spot. All right. Make sure you send me your deals. We'll be back for another live show shortly. If you're watching the broadcast, if you're watching the rebroadcast, you'll see the times that we're live. For those of you who want to attend my free masterclass, Everything You're Doing Wrong, Buying, Selling, and Leasing Cars, that link is also in the comments, and it's also in my TikTok and Instagram bio. You'll need about an hour, and then we do Q&A for an hour after the class. So anyway you get it, make sure you get it. I don't care how you get the information. All we do is put the information out. The rest is on you, all right? I'll see y'all on the next show. God bless you.
The worst possible thing you could say when you walk into a car dealership. I spent 5 years with Mercedes-Benz, 5 with General Motors, and the worst thing a person could say when they walk in is, if you could just get me to this payment, we got a deal.
So your loan's probably still like 19, which means you got to pay to get out. You're upside down. It's called negative equity.
Welcome to Car Shopping Questions and Answers, episode 14. I am your host, Deshone the Auto Advisor. We do these live streams throughout the day. We rebroadcast them, so you may have seen a rebroadcast, but today is our Thursday. Is it Thursday? It's Wednesday. What day is it? It's Thursday. Thank you. Our live broadcast, and we do rapid fire Q&A. We are streaming on 4 platforms: TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. So you guys can start taking your questions. Yeah, I see you, real Zubir. I see you. We're live right now. And whenever you guys don't see the replay banner, that means you're watching a live show. So we do replay these broadcasts all throughout the day, so that, if you can't watch them all, you can tell your friends, your family. But whenever you don't see the live replay banner, that means we're live. So you guys can start typing your questions, and we'll be pulling them in from all 4 platforms. So just go to deshonsbook.com, Mr. Silver. I see you on TikTok. The people with the TikTok browser were having a problem getting the book, but some people said they were able to get it on TikTok. So just try typing deshonsbook.com into a browser, and you should be able to access it. So as you come in, start typing your questions, and we'll start getting to them. For those of you, if this is your first time ever on a live car Q&A with us, can you type the number 1? We always like to know who's the first time person, first time ever on a car shopping Q&A with us. Type the number 1. And if you have been here before, then I want you to send I want you to type welcome to the people who are first timers. Reginald, what's going on? I see you, Reginald, on YouTube. I see you flipped apart on Instagram. Sweet Major, I see you. Herman, I see you on Instagram. Real Zubair, I see you. Mr. Silver, welcome back. I see you on TikTok. If this is your first time with us, type a number 1. We welcome you. My name is Deshone the Auto Advisor. As I said, I spent 14 years in the car business from 2006 to 2020, left after the pandemic, never went back to Mercedes, and have been teaching people who are willing to listen how to save the most money, get below market deals, guarantee their best prices, their best interest rate, their best deals, car shopping online, getting bids instead of negotiating. So it is an entirely different science, but we go deep on it here. So feel free to ask your questions, and we'll start getting to them one by one. Everything I'm going to be teaching out of in this stream is out of my new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. And we're going to put a comment for you guys in the Facebook comments and in the YouTube comments. We just like to get the housekeeping done so we could get right to the show, because once we get to the questions, we don't turn back. We don't stop until the hour is done. So we'll be here for about an hour. So we're posting a question now. Those of you who want the book on Instagram, it's in my bio. It's in my TikTok bio, and you can get yours for 75% off. You won't pay the normal $97 price. So let's get to it. All right. Let's see. We have Instagram. My car is out of repo, and it was bad deal from jump. What can I do? Okay, so you got your car out of a repo. All you can do to get out of a car is sell it. That's it. You could sell it. Now normally you might say trade it, but we don't use the words trade here. We use the word sell it. So whenever you are, because you're not going to get the most money trading. So you want to do something we call an equity assessment. You want to find out how much you owe, call your bank. And this is the first step for everyone. If you have a car right now that you need to replace, I want you to stop thinking about trading, and I want you to start thinking about getting bids on it. Okay? No matter what you have, if you have this phone right here and you said, I'm going to trade this phone for something, are you going to get the most money for the phone? Think about that. Think about that. Yes or no? And always stay close to your keyboards, because we dialogue here, okay? I ask you questions. I need you typing fast in the dialogue. If you had this phone right here and you said, I'm going to go trade this phone, that's different than you getting bids on it and seeing what's the most money somebody will pay for this phone, okay? So that's what we do when it comes to our car buying process. So you're going to call your bank, find out what you owe, and then you're going to go to CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer. Do not use KBB.com. It's a marketing site. And all it is an algorithm. It's algorithms trying to tell you what your car is worth. We're past that day. The world we live in now, we can get offers. And that's what you want. That's all that's important is offers. So Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, Car Guru, Sell My Car, and AutoNation, Sell My Car. That's 6 people who are competing to buy cars every day. And that's where you want to go. Once you go there, you'll be able to see if you have equity, means you could get out very easy. So if you owe 15, but your highest offer is 20, that's a 1-hour inspection. They'll cut you a check, and you got the equity. That equity is cash money to you. You put it in your bank, you can use it as a down payment. If you have negative equity, that's a different story. You're going to need to account for that. But the first thing you must do if you are replacing a car is an equity assessment. Okay? That's step 2 in my process. After we decide leasing or buying, and I'm sure we'll be talking a lot about leasing versus buying while we're here. So, all right, let's go. Keep the questions coming and type out your entire question. Try to get it in one shot so that we can see it all. But that's your first step, the real Zubair. Do your equity assessment. If you said you owe quite a bit, you gotta do the equity assessment and get real numbers. Let's get out of the gray area. I know I owe a lot. Oh, I got some equity. Oh, I got some negative equity. Let's get hard numbers so that we can move to the next step intelligently. Okay? Car buying is all about the numbers. Oh, it's still in repo. Then see if you can get the cash to get it out. That's it. I mean, if you can't get the cash to get it out, then what are you going to do? If you've had a car repossessed, they give you some time to come redeem it. You got to come up with the cash. If you come up with the cash, then at least you have a car and you can rebuild your credit based on having a car not repoed yet, but taken, which means you've gone 90 days, past 90 days on your payments. So, but you can build from that. If the car is done, totally repoed, then that's a different story. Now you're going to need to shop for a car with a repo on your credit, and that's going to be a different way to shop. You're going to need I have a couple different ways we do it. First step, we try to get first step would be a company like Limbuzz. They'll pre-approve people with really, really challenged credit, no credit, new people to the country. But you're going to want to make sure you don't go out and overspend, because the biggest problem with people with bad credit is you're overspending in the interest and the car. And what we do is we separate the interest from the car. What does that mean? Your loan is a product. Your loan, I know here's what you've typically done. You've given the car dealers 3 transactions. And that's why you can't get good deals. When you go and trade your car into a dealer, that's a transaction. You sold them your car. That's why on that buyer's order, there's a specific part for your car. They're buying your car. That's a transaction. Another part of the transaction is you bought a car from them. That's a different transaction. And then if you got your loan from them, that's a third transaction. So there's no way to get a good deal when you're giving dealers 3 transactions or 2 transactions and you haven't gotten bids for either. Break this down a little bit more before we go to the next question. There are companies that want to lend you money. They don't sell cars. That means they're willing to compete against other companies that want to lend you money. That means if this company is giving you an 8% interest rate, this one might give you a 7% interest rate, this one might give you a 6.2% interest rate. They're willing to compete. You need to bid that out. You need to bid that out. See, the only way we have price guarantees, what's going on, Trini, man? Good to see you. The only way we get price guarantees is by bidding our business out. So there's companies that only want to buy your car from you. Those are the companies I named like 5 minutes ago during our equity assessment. They don't even sell, they're not interested in selling your car. They like to, but they're also interested, hey, we just want to buy your car. Even if we can't sell you one, we'll buy yours from you. You should be bidding that out. Type $ if you're clear on that. And then when you buy your car, you're bidding that out. So when people with bad credit usually go and don't have a strategy like the one I'm telling you, you're going to go and overpay because you're mixing the loan with the car. You're going to a dealer saying, hey, I like that car, get me approved. So you didn't even get a bid to find out, was that the lowest price car? Because some people think all dealers' prices are the same. They're actually all different. And look, only you know, but I know, I've been doing this long enough to know there are people who've been taught every Nissan dealer is the same price. That's why they'll come home and say, man, Nissan doesn't have good deals right now. No, one Nissan dealer didn't. So you have to, when you're shopping for used cars, you want to be looking at all the inventory to see who has the best price used car. Then you would use a company like LendBuzz, like I mentioned, who approves people with bad credit, no credit, new to the country, because at least you know you got a great price on the car. See, if I'm going to pay 20% interest because I just had a repo, that's between me and my lender. Do we understand? Most times when you have bad credit, it's between you, the dealership, and everyone else in the dealership. They know you have bad credit because you've been there for 10 hours. How'd you get here at 9 a.m. with me? We both walked in the door and I left at 12 and you still sitting in the waiting room hoping they get you approved. Everyone in the dealership knows you have bad credit. That's the way it is when you're mixing the credit and the car and you have bad credit. So what you need to do is be doing what I'm telling you, shopping for your car, finding the best price car, and then trying your best to find a company. You can try LendBuzz, as I said. But if you're overpaying for the car, if you're just walking into a dealership that you like, oh, I like that, and you think you're going to just have a good time getting approved, you got to understand, you could overpay by $3,000-$4,000 for the car itself, and then you're going to pay 20%, and you're just burying yourself. And that's what most people are going to do, unfortunately. That's not what I want you to do. Okay? So we'll talk more about our online shopping system, new car. I'm sure as we go through more questions on the stream, we'll go more deep into our online shopping system. But that I need to give you, if you have bad credit, challenge credit, repo, you need to have an overview of what your plan should look like, and that's what it is. Shout out to the people running the likes up on TikTok. Appreciate y'all. If you could tap the screen every couple minutes, if you're getting value so far, tap the screen. All right, let's go to, I see you, Uncle Hassan on TikTok. Let's go to you and type your questions, y'all. We're going to try to get to as many as possible. 23 Outback Wilderness, 9,000 miles, certified pre-owned. Should I get a warranty and what would be a good price? Well, you bid out the warranty. Multiple dealers. You call another Subaru finance manager. Hey, I got this 2023 Subaru Outback. I just got it. What could you give me? Can you give me your price on the warranty? You bid that out too. Now, that's the only way to know a good price. See, any question, what would be a good price? Only bids answer that. Now, if you try to answer it your old way, you'll have no price assurance. That means you don't know it's a good price. You're just hoping. And I'm not hoping. Nobody who's learning from me, no one who I show you in these shows, if you're going to do well, you're not going to hope anymore. Hope is not a strategy. I hope I didn't overpay. I hope that was a good price. I hope I got enough for my old car. I hope I got a good interest rate. You understand? That's actually a little buyer's remorse. And we eliminate that. And the way we eliminate it is through bids. So should you get the warranty? Let's talk about that. So here's an extended warranty question. Uncle Hack from TikTok is asking, should he get the extended warranty on this vehicle? So here's what it comes down to. How expensive, how likely is it that things will go wrong with the car, and how expensive are they when they go wrong? Because all an extended warranty is an insurance product. It's an insurance product, which means you could pay $2,000 and not use it. Just like auto insurance, right? We pay for it every month. Sometimes, most times, if God bless us, we don't use it. There's no accidents. There's no reason for us to use it. So with an extended warranty, you're trying to measure your risk and say, okay, what's the likelihood of me using this? And I got to use it enough to get all my money back and more. So if the warranty costs me $2,000, I don't want to just get $2,000 in value back, because if that's the case, I could have just, not paid for the warranty. So does the car have a high repair cost? You want to go to Google and type in Subaru Outback, the vehicle you got, repair costs. This is something that we do when we're considering extended warranties. This is step 6 of my process. Sounds like you already got your car. You've already locked up your deal. So this will fall under the paperwork and protection phase. My book is 7 steps. Step 6 is paperwork and protection right before delivery. These are the things we're trying to see. do they make sense for us to get based on our situation? So with the car, if you see that Subaru you're getting has a high likelihood of repairs and a high expensive repair cost, then you may want to go ahead and get the extended warranty. Now, if you see that the repair cost on that is low, and you could just again type in repair, and also I hope you try to type in longevity. But longevity is something that's above and beyond repair costs, because longevity is when we're looking 100,000 miles, 150,000 miles. What are people saying about these cars? So the repair costs are more over the next 3, 4, 5 years. What is it going to look like? So if you see that this vehicle has higher than normal repair costs, then you may want to go ahead and get the warranty. But if not, then you may want to just keep that $2,000 or whatever you would spend. Whatever you would spend. So, that's all of it. A Mercedes, when people were buying Mercedes from me, I told them buy as much warranty as you could afford, because I knew it's good money. If you spend $4,000 on a Mercedes warranty and it covers you for 3, 4 years, good money spent. Because when something breaks on a Mercedes, on a Range Rover, on a BMW, on a Cadillac, sometimes it's thousands to fix. So one repair on that vehicle could cover the cost of the warranty. But there are other vehicles on the other side of the spectrum, Honda, Toyota, Lexus. There are plenty of vehicles on the other side. Mazda does well. So you want to see where your vehicle is, where your specific vehicle is, and that's how we're assessing our risk. Everything we're doing with an extended warranty is a risk. It's a risk assessment. There's no hard rules, no hard yes. It's literally just trying to assess your risk and making the best choice you can. Okay, Peter, what's going on? Peter from TikTok. 2022 Pacifica, 51,000 miles. Didn't get the extended warranty. Should I try to move the car, keep it long? 2022? I'm guessing it's not a 2022. Are you saying it's a 2022? Did you type that correctly? I didn't even know Chrysler was still making the Pacificas. Listen, there's a hard rule, y'all. Look, who knows what this is? One word if you've seen this before. One word if you've seen this before, you got a free copy of my book. Who knows what it is when I do this? Let me see who's the first person that's going to say. Hold on. Because I know most of you are first timers. If you're a first timer here, type the number 1. But if you know what this is when I pull this out, one word. Come on, all right, I'm not going to butcher your name. But yes, you got it. Elutrio. Depreciation. So I want you to send me an email. If you're on my email list, I think you are, because you got the notification of the broadcast. Send me an email, and we'll need your email. We'll send you a free copy of my digital book, Cars from Home: 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. Because you're on point. This is depreciation. Whenever we think about replacing a car, this is how we have to think about it. Am I replacing a car when it's losing or lost its most value? This is what people usually do. You buy a car for $30,000. You bring it back the next day, it's worth $24,000, $26,000. You're like, wait, how did I lose that much money in one day? That's what it is. The car's been titled. It's no longer worth what you just paid for it. So, and the more you overpay, the more you lose, because it doesn't change. If you overpay because you don't have any strategy and you end up paying 33, that car's still worth 26. That car's still worth 25, whatever it was going to be. But a year later, you buy a car for 30,000. What's it worth a year later? What's it worth? If you buy a car right now for 30,000, what's that car worth 1 year later? Average miles. So we're answering Peter's question, because he's asking, should he be replacing his car? And then every one of you who are not keeping your cars 8 years, you need to be thinking like this, because I'm about to show you that you're losing a lot of money by not leasing. Thousands of dollars. Okay. I don't think it's worth 10,000, Ken. You buy a car for 30,000, a year later it's probably worth 22 with average miles, 23 with average miles driven. That's the unseen expense. That's depreciation. Goes down like this. So you lose big percentages of your car's value every year in the form of equity. So whatever your car was worth today, a year from now, if you just recently bought it, you're going to lose a large percentage of the value. This is why when people say, and you might have said it, well, I don't lease because I like to drive as much as I want. I don't want to pay for the mile. Well, first of all, you can lease up to like 30,000 miles a year. Second of all, you pay for the miles whether you drive the car or not when you buy it. Well, let's go deep on this. If you park a car outside your house right now and you leave it there for 1 year, never drive it, you come back a year later, it's not worth what it was, right? 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 Right or right? Okay, I want to make sure y'all following this, because everyone who hasn't seen this lesson on depreciation, you need to burn this into your brain. It's very simple. It's a high school kid could understand what we're about to go over. So a car that you bought for $30,000 this year is going to be worth $23,000 next year with average miles, and then it's going to be worth $18,000 the next year, and then it's going to be worth $16,000 the third year, and then it's going to be worth $14,000 the fifth year. It's going to keep going down, but there's going to come a point in time where it's no longer losing that much money. Who has a car outside right now? If you've had it for at least 8 years, tell me how many years you've had it outside right now. Type the number of years, not if you've had it for at least 8 years. Because I want to let Peter know that if he's not keeping his car for at least 8 years, he should be leasing. He should be shopping for great lease deals, not great purchase deals. And there's no way for you to get a great deal if you purchase when you should have leased. It's no way. And I'm going to show you that too. Okay, so tell me, let me know. Let me see. How many years have you had the car outside? So Al, I see you've had it for 14 years. Who's had let me know. Who's had a car outside? Tell me the number of years. Greg, I see you, 5 years. Shakita, I said more than 10. Gigi Sweet Treats, I see you on Instagram, 9 years. Jose, 20 years. Okay, Jose on TikTok with the 20-year car outside. Helen, 10 years. Sprice on Instagram, 12 years. Okay, this is what you got to understand. All these people that you're hearing answer, if you are like not an 8-year, 10-year, 12-year, 20-year person, they're not like this with their depreciation anymore. They're like this. What does that mean? The same amount their car is worth today, a year from now, it's going to be worth about that. If their car is worth $7,000 today, it's going to be worth probably $6,500 a year from now, $6,600, $6,700. This is the only benefit of purchasing compared to shopping for great lease deals. So if what you're doing, you heard me 3 minutes ago talk about the money you're losing when you buy these cars in the short term, 10,000. You're losing 1,000, 5,000 this year, 3,000 this year, 20. So if you replace the car in that cycle, you've just lost tons of money because you're literally replacing the car in the biggest depreciation phase. And I always say cash buyers never do this. The only people that do this, unfortunately, are people with a monthly payment. Because what you're doing is you haven't clearly see, what I'm showing you is the value of the asset, the value of the car. The value of the car isn't your loan. The amount you pay for it isn't your loan. That isn't the value of the asset. The asset is what's losing value every year. That's why some of you, when you high mileage drivers, if you're a high mileage driver, type HM. If you're a high mileage driver, type HM. You'll see that the asset loses, but your loan, you get a regular loan, but here's what you're doing. Because you're driving so much, you're destroying the asset's value. Instead of you losing $3,000 like the average driver, you put 20,000 miles on your car, you lose $6,000. Then you lose $6,000. Then you lose $3,000. So your car is worthless because you're the asset, but the loan is the same. The loan may be the same as a regular person. So you have to distinguish this. This is what you should be thinking about. And in the 2 year, anytime you get into the mood of replacing a car in 2 years or 3 years or 4 years or 5 years or 6, this is what you should be thinking about. I'm replacing my car. Some people will pay off their car, take a 6-year loan, pay off their car, and then go trade the car in and do it again with another car. Soon as they pay off the car, just go get another 6-year loan, pay it off, replace it, just vicious cycle of money being thrown away. So you saw the first way to avoid that depreciation cycle. I just laid out with long-term ownership. You saw the people, 8 years, 10 years, Jose, 20 years on TikTok. This is all long-term ownership, avoiding depreciation. Here's the other way. Great lease deals. Not average lease deals, not commercials that you see saying, hey, come lease this car, $400 a month with $4 grand down plus tax and fee. No, great lease deals. Great lease deals look like this. Great lease deals are never advertised. This is Danielle. Look, Audi A3, got bids, $44,000 vehicle, $550 a month. No money out of pocket. $44,000 vehicle. Now, some of you know every $5,000 on a loan is about how much per month. I'm talking to the people that's been here, but some of you might have saw it in my social media videos too. Every $5,000 on a loan is how much per month. Thank you. Okay, dang, Eleuterio, you are totally on point. It's $100 on a 5-year loan. On a 5-year loan, so when you look at a car and you see $20,000, automatically in your mind should be that's about $400 a month. You should automatically default. I want you order. Some people say, Deshone, well, what if I want a 6-year loan? Well, let that be the backup. Don't default to a 6-year loan. Default to a 5-year loan. Because you know if you get a 5-year loan, you spend less money than if you get a 6-year loan. So default to a 5-year loan. When you look at a $20,000 car, say to yourself, it's about $400 a month. You look at a $40,000 car, it's about $800 a month. Because I remember every $5,000 is about, we all assuming money down. Well, I mean, no money down. We all assuming no money down. Every $5,000 you borrow on the loan is about $100 a month, depending on the interest rate. So this same car that Danielle is leasing for $550, somebody is paying $800-900 a month for it right now. Got the same deal she got, except they purchased and she leased. This is what you should be shopping for. Let's look at Benita. Now let's do something with a price. Look at Charles, $48,000 Hyundai Palisade. He leased it, got his bids. Because I know some of you looking saying, yo, how do you get these deals? These don't look like the commercials. No, we use a different system, a bidding system. That's how we get these deals. When you have 5 dealers competing to get you offered, this is the deals you're going to start getting too. When you go into one dealer and go back and forth, 80% of dealers are overpriced. So you're not going to see these numbers. You got to sit at home and bid and let these dealers come to you. But look, he's paying $597, $48,000 Hyundai Palisade. That same vehicle, no money down, it's rounded up to $50,000. That's almost $1,000 a month for 5 years. Even if somebody took a 6-year loan on it, there's people right now probably watching this. You got a Palisade, no money down. You're paying $900 a month. So this is, look, he's paying $597. So when we start, and I'll share more as we go into more questions. When you look at what I just told y'all, I told y'all this is the danger zone right here. You want to be over here 8 years or more, or you want to be over here shopping for great lease deals. You don't want to be purchasing, owning cars, replacing cars in this period, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. You are losing the most through depreciation. And somebody who's leasing is just really keeping thousands of dollars more in their household, driving better cars than you, because they're not putting the kind of money into a car you're putting in. They're only paying their little monthly payment, driving brand new cars, and paying a small amount for for their usage. The people over here that have kept their car 8, 9, 10 years, they're keeping thousands in their household because they paid off their cars. Now their car's no longer depreciating and they can just do what they want with it, have it in their household, and they've won. You in the middle are the ones that's losing, and you got to get out the middle. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's the cute face, the mileage you pay for no matter what. Cute face on TikTok said the mileage though. You see, the problem is you've heard people who got a 10,000 mile a year lease knowing they should have got a 15,000 mile a year lease. Let's really get to it. People, I've watched them. I don't know why. Go in knowing they drive 15,000 miles per year, but yet they sign a 10-year lease, a 10,000 mile a year lease. It's the most, you want to not enjoy, you want to mess up your lease, then they blame the lease. I'm not saying this is you. If you drive 18,000 miles a year, you get an 18,000 mile a year lease. I had a guy come in, some of you know the story, when I was a manager at Hyundai for a couple weeks. Wasn't for me. I left after 6 weeks, but I got a chance to see something there I'll never forget. Guy came in, he was returning his lease, and I was helping him do the paperwork. I said, I looked at his mileage. He had like 72,000 miles on it. I said, you leased this? He said, yeah, I'm in sales. That's all I do is lease. I said, oh, that's crazy. He said, yeah, I drive like 25,000 miles a year. I pay my lease payment. I bring that car back every 3 years. I just get a new one. I said, wow. Because I know what he was, I knew what he was avoiding, because I've had people come in, that kind of mileage on their cars worthless. They still owe a ton of money, 10 grand, 12 grand, negative equity all the time. So their car's worth 10, but they owe 20 on it because the mileage, it has 120,000 miles. It's ridiculous. I see it all the time. So when I went and I did his paperwork, I saw he was only paying like $150, $175 a month more than a normal Hyundai Sonata. So if a normal Hyundai Sonata was leasing for $350, he was only paying like $525 or whatever it was. Whatever the number was, it was less than $200 more for him to drive as much as he wanted to drive. So it makes no sense to literally get buried in negative equity because, I'm going to buy my car. It changed my perspective. That's when I started telling my high mileage clients about high mileage leases, because you pay for that's what you got to understand. You pay for the mileage whether you buy or lease. If you lease, you are trying to make your deal upfront for the usage. If you buy and you drive 25,000 miles a year, look, this is the normal driver. This is the normal driver. This is the high mileage driver's vehicle value. So that car was worth 40, but you put 75,000 miles on it in 3 years. Now the car is worth 20. You killed $20,000 of value in 3 years because you're a high mileage driver. So you pay for it. That's why I call this the unseen expense. Depreciation is the unseen expense. And those who want to win, you need to account for it. You need to base your vehicle purchases off of it. If you are a short-term person, 3, 4, see, we've heard that term, right? Depreciating asset. What does that mean? The last 10, 15 minutes, I've clearly told you this is what that means. It doesn't mean, it just goes down in value. That means if you are buying an asset that goes down in value, whether you use it or not, and the more you use it, the more it goes down in value, then you need to plan your purchase of it accordingly based on how long you're going to keep it. But I'm also telling you that the depreciating asset eventually stops depreciating a lot. That's the people we talked about 10 minutes ago. 8-year, 10-year, 12-year people. Eventually, the depreciating asset stops depreciating a lot. You want to make sure that is your reward. Come on. If you get value out of this, type dollar signs, because that's gems. If you understand that my only purpose in buying a depreciating asset is to get to a point where it's not depreciating that much anymore, and that is my reward for paying all that money. That's my reward. I paid all that money to own this car, but it's paid off now. Now, here we go. It's not depreciating that much no more. I can keep it, and hopefully I'm going to keep this thing till one day it doesn't drive. That is the purpose of a purchase. There's no other benefit. Everything else, if you like Deshone, no way I'm keeping the car 8, 10, 12 years. You should be shopping for great lease deals. It's not even a question. Not even a question. All right? We had to go deep on that. So, Peter, let that be your guide. Everything I'm teaching you guys, this is in my book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's a digital book. I have a link in the comments for you guys. I have the banner up here so you guys can scan it. If you're watching us on TV, you can scan it and you can get your book for 75% off. It's normally $97, but part of our launch, our welcome offer, everybody, you can get yours for $24, but you only got 30 minutes. Once you visit that site, deshonsbook.com, that timer starts ticking, and once it gets down to 0, price goes back up to $97. So get your book, and yes, YHLDQ. All right, you got a lot of letters in your name on TikTok. Bravo, there you go. Plan properly, execute as such. There we go. There we go, Carla. See, you're getting it. Depreciation is the unseen expense. Yes. 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 I love it. It's clicking. All right, let me go back to Instagram. Let's see if we got any questions on Instagram. Hold on. Type your questions on Instagram. Let me pull another one in from hold on. Let me pull another one in here. Hold on. Claudia. I bought your book. When calculating offers on your calculator, do you put the initial MSRP or the MSRP with the added fees and the cost? Always the MSRP. Always the real MSRP. I don't care if a dealer has added costs. When we're comparing offers, we are only comparing other, because every dealer doesn't have those fees. So you're trying to sell, you're trying to gauge value. So always use the real MSRP. And y'all know that I share this a lot on the show lately, just so you guys know, because it can be confusing. Whenever you see the MSRP on a window sticker, if you're shopping your lease deals the way we teach you to shop them, this is the total MSRP right here. It's the total MSRP right there. If they have a little addendum over here with some added numbers to it, that's not what we're using to calculate. When we divide our monthly payments into the MSRP, and that's how we get the 1% lease deals, or the because everything we use to calculate great lease deals is based off of the 1% lease deal rule, which has been around probably longer than all of us. The 1% lease deal rule said if your lease payment was 1% of the MSRP with no money down, 12,000 miles per year, you got a steal. So everything we do from that is gauging, 1% and under is a steal. Between 1% and 1.5% is a deal. And above 1.5%, we don't take those. It's too high. You're paying too much money for a car you're giving back. But we don't go in. We don't go in saying, hey, get me under 1.5%. We get bids, because all these people that you see, Danielle got a 1.2% lease. Bonita, Charles on his Palisade. My God, some of you saw Kimberly's deal. She got under 1% on her new Maserati, 1.09%. Frina got her Jeep. Look, 0.88%, staying $579 a month, $65,000 MSRP on her Jeep. This didn't. If they would have went in targeting, hey, yeah, get me here, then they would have lost. If they would have said, man, get me to 1.2%, they would have lost. You get bids, you get 5 offers, because 4 are going to be overpriced in most cases. 80% of dealers are overpriced. That's the data we've seen. And then you let the bottom of the market reveal itself to you. Okay? We don't know what we're going to say. We don't know how much money we're going to save off a car. We don't know until we get those bids, and then the bottom reveals itself. So we're never fishing for the bottom. We're getting bids and revealing the bottom. Okay, Rev Michael Dancy, what's up? I'm waiting for the 2025 miles to come in so I can capitalize on the 2024. That's cool if they're still around, for certain. Yeah, but make sure that you compare, because you want to have enough 2024s to get bids. You want to have, a lot of times, if there's a lot of leftovers, then you could do well. if there's not too many leftovers, sometimes the only ones that are left over are the ones with all the equipment. Like whenever we had the leftovers, the ones that were the most popular, they sold quick. But the ones that were left over, they sold, all the ones that had a bunch of equipment packages that weren't really popular, those were the ones that were left over. But it's different now. Inventory is back. A lot of dealers have tons of inventory now. So that could be a good strategy. But I like the idea of being in the market 3 months before you need a car, and then, being positioned so when a dealership needs a car, a sell desperately, you're the one they call. Because most people, Michael, they're going into dealerships and they need a car today, this week, maybe this month, latest. That's most people. So they're not going to be able to be positioned, unfortunately. That's why I don't want you emergency shopping anymore. I'm talking to everyone. When you're using a bidding system, you're reaching out, you're contacting multiple dealers. I have a system in my book, I call it the 25 to 5. This is for new cars and leases, 25 to 5. So we're creating contact with 25 dealers on their website, telling them what we want. We do this in 20 minutes, literally 20 minutes, because I also have, things you copy and paste in there to make it quicker. But once you do this, now what you're doing is you're seeing who has a car, and then you're sending a template to request a quote, and then we say out of 25 dealers, we're going to get 5 quotes, at least 5 to 7. If we don't like those quotes, we've already told them in our initial email when our deadline is. This is important. This isn't information we hold back. We say, hey, I could buy a car today. Whenever we reach out, we always say, this is built into my template. This is something you want to say. When you reach out today, I could buy a car today. That lets them know you're a serious buyer. But I don't need a car until this day. We call that our no later than day. Why that's important? Because a dealer's mind is about today. So when we say I can buy a car, I can make a deal today, it gets them excited. Oh, I got a serious buyer on my hands. But when we say, hey, but I don't need a car until end of the summer. I don't need a car until winter. I don't need a car until such and such. Now that's a takeaway. That's a psychological takeaway. So it makes them want the business more, but they know, okay, I got all these people in my showroom now. Let me handle them. But this guy, Charles, this guy, Michael, this woman, Medina, I know she's a real buyer. So I'm going to search and see what I got coming. Maybe I got a car coming in 6 weeks. Hey, Medina, I got this car coming in 6 weeks. It'll be here by the end of next month. Are you open to that if I were? Absolutely. So you have more inventory to shop from than a person today. So if you have a car and you need a car this week, understandable. I have the best bidding system in the world. My book will walk you through it step by step to get below market deals quickly. I don't really trust you to go out and get a great below market deal using no strategy if you have to get a car in a matter of days. But if you have time, time is a luxury. Time is an asset. Time is something you should be shopping 3 months before you need a car, because deals change every month. Every month programs change. Used cars, pricing trends change. You can see the prices go down. You can see them go up. There's advantages to having time. You could also, when we shop for used cars, our best deals aren't when we go to the marketplaces, Auto Trader, Car Gurus, all of these marketplaces we shop on. They're not there. We look at the market and we create accounts. Why? Because once we put in what we're searching for, we get alerts of new inventory. Watch this. I can't teach you. You can't get a below market deal. Dad, y'all running the lights up on TikTok. Shout out to the people tapping the screen. See y'all. Appreciate y'all. You can't get the first step to getting a below market deal is you got to know what the market is. Because most people are paying market value or above. That's a $3,000 to $5,000 price increase. $3,000 to $5,000 from average market value to above market value. That's what most people are paying with no strategy. Because if everyone was getting below market deals, they wouldn't be below market deals. They'd be average deals. So now the people with strategy that I'm teaching you, the stuff that you're learning, you need to see those above market offers so that you know you're paying below market. Okay? So with a used car, I need to see the low side of the used car market on all these marketplaces I need to have alerts on so that every single car that pops up, soon as it hits the marketplace, I get a notification of it. Because no one else is going to know the market on this car like you will. Once I walk you through this, once you follow these simple steps and not just winging it, you look at the market. We always sort from lowest to highest price. This is what I did with my Infinity truck I bought a little while ago. And I saw what the lowest prices was, and then I turned on the alerts. So I turned on the alerts, but I saw when I got mine, I didn't need to wait for the alerts because I saw a deal so good, I just jumped on it because I saw it literally in 48 hours. I narrowed it down to my top 4, and it was one deal that was so good. So, but it's a multi-step process. But so here's what, so the point is, new cars and leases, we see below market. The only way to get below market prices is to have 4 or 5 or 6 higher offers. That means you got the below market because I had 4 or 5 or 6 higher offers than the one I accepted. On a used car, I need to see other used cars that are priced $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 more than the one I ended up getting, because that's the way it is all the time. And as long as you hold to these rules, you'll understand this is my target. Okay? You only do this once. Once you learn this process, y'all, it's rinse and repeat too. It's harder the first time because this is not my first time. I didn't even know I needed a strategy to shop for a car. But now you see, if I want to save thousands of dollars, get below market deals, I need a strategy. But once you do it, this thing, that's why I can do it in my sleep, because I've done this 10, 15 times for myself. I've done it for other people, and I've taught a lot of people to do it. Trust me when I tell you, this is not rocket science right here. Tiffany got my book, and she wrote me, she just saved $6,300, $6,500 off her 2024 Mazda she just got. So, but it's a mindset. Bigger than the techniques. Let's get back to the questions. But bigger than the questions is your mindset set up and focused on below market deals and bids? That's, if I had to narrow it down to 2 things, below market deals and bids. And I throw one more in there. Well, which is really bids. Don't talk numbers in the dealership. Everything happens at home. All right. Let's go. Let's go back to the questions. All right. Queens Medina says, so it's not a whole lot of Mazda dealerships in the area for competition. Go wider. Go wider. Go on the website, put your zip code in, go wider. Look, you don't think the dealers know that in your area? So if a dealer knows it's only 6 Mazda dealers within a 30-mile radius, you don't think they know that? Not going to get aggressive. They don't expect someone to drive 100 miles to go get their Mazda. Shonda was getting a Volvo a year ago. I remember this young lady. She was in my, and anyone who wants to know more about my actual video program, my coaching program, you can go to my bio after. Sometime you can attend my free masterclass, Everything You're Doing Wrong, Buying, Selling, and Leasing Cars. That's a 1-hour class. We go very deep, but I got slides, leasing versus buying, very deep. And, but she's in my program. So, but the steps are the same. See, my program, 7 steps. My book, 7 steps. Same thing. Just get in where you fit in. So she said, she's in Northern California. She said, Deshone, she said, I'm shopping for this Volvo. No dealer in Northern California came close to this dealer in Southern California. They're saving me like $3,000 above my best deal I got so far. So she had some discounts already. I think her biggest discount was like $3,000. And this dealer was willing to do like $6,000 with all the rebates below MSRP. I said, so what are you going to do? She said, I just got a plane ticket. It was $70-something. I said, that's what I would do. I would be on a plane, going to pick up my new car, knowing that this $75 just saved me $3,000 on a plane ticket. We got to be willing to go wide, and that's the science of shopping from home. We don't care. Sean saved $20,000 on his F-150 truck. Some of you saw him. So if you're new to the show, you've never seen him. But F-150 Lightning XLT, $73,000 truck. he saved, you know, 15.5 plus 49, a little over 20 grand, $20,500. But one thing he said, which is important, I said, is this the best offer? Because listen, I didn't know, could have been more. We could have got more. I said, I haven't seen the other offers yet, but I'm assuming you got at least 5. You're saving over 20 grand on this with the discount and rebate. But the only way to know that this is the best deal is to compare to the other offers. Is this the lowest? If so, slam dunk. He said, guess I could have put a little more info. Yes, I got about 15 quotes. Couldn't find anything under MSRP. Follow me. He said, I expanded my search to 150 miles outside my area to find this deal. I'm going to another state to pick this up, which is something I never would have thought of before. You think he cares about shopping across state lines anymore? You think you get what I'm saying? So it's a program way to shop that makes the dealers money. And in order for you to save all the money, you now have to step out of that program and let everybody else run that old way. Let everybody else go in and go back and forth with one dealer and think they won. Let everybody else do that. You are going to break away from that, and you're going to sit at your house and you're going to use a computer or phone, and you're going to have these dealers bidding, and you're going to see the most money you've ever saved in your life, and you're going to have price assurance, guarantees. I always say, if I ask you when you get your car, hey, bet me $500 I can't get a better price than you just got right now. Most of you would say no, but Sean would say, man, bet me. Let's go. If you find a truck more than what I just got, anyone who's using a bid, when you get your bids and that's the deal you accept, Tiffany, when she just got her Mazda, she got bids. If I was to bet her, she said, yeah, I'll take that bet. Because I know I saw a lot of offers. I know I did 25 dealers. I know you ain't going to find something better than what I got. And that's what I like. That's what I want for you. Okay? So forget about your area, Queen Medina. Just bought your book. Awesome. True Southern Girl on YouTube. Enjoy it. Use it. And everybody do like what Tiffany did. When you get your deals, write me, email me, so that we can bring them onto the show. Okay? I don't know why my live just ended on TikTok. Hold on. Why did my live just end out of nowhere on TikTok? Hold on. Let's get TikTok back. Technology sometimes. All right. That's coming back. So, all right, let's go to Instagram for a question. Let's see. Are y'all typing questions on Instagram? I see a lot of people, but I don't see a lot of questions. No. All right, let's go back to YouTube. Instagram, type your questions. I don't see your questions here. So I'm looking at Elite Travels. I'm looking at, why is it saying my internet connection? Okay. All right, we're gonna let TikTok do what it's doing right now. I'm looking at a Lexus IS 350, fully loaded, monthly payment $710, 0 down, car worth $51,000. You don't know if you can't tell me that dealer you are buying from beat at least 5 other dealers. Hold on. Hold on one second. Okay, let's get back here. Okay, so you have a price on this car. Now, the only way I'm going to tell you, just like I said to Sean, I don't care what. Now, you're going into monthly payments. You're not talking about the price of the car. The price of the car is what you should be separating from the monthly payments. Until you know that you have the car, the best dealer, one, beat all their other competition and has agreed to sell you. I don't know what happened, TikTok. So come on back in. We got blocked out for a second. That's all that matters. You're putting the cart way before the horse, and you're mixing 2 transactions. You're giving the dealer your loan and you're looking at the car. If you didn't bid these 2 things out, there's no way for you to get a good deal. There's no way for you to get a good deal. because you will never have price assurance. You'll have buyer remorse. You're wondering, did I get a good interest rate? Did I get a good price? So the first thing you have to do is get 5 offers on this Lexus. Forget about the monthly payment. I'm looking for a Lexus IS 350 fully loaded. If you're going to use my way, we're going on the dealer's websites, 25 to 5 in my book, $24 in the comment section. If you're going to do it your way, you're at least going to call, speak to 5 Lexus dealers. You can ask for the sales managers. You're going to get 5 offers, and you're going to compare and find the dealer who's going to sell you the Lexus at the lowest price. And then here comes your loan. Then you come home and you would do what we call the bank bidding war. So we have a process we do where we let an almost unlimited number of people run our credit so that we can bid out our loan. I said earlier in the show, there's people who they don't sell cars, they just want to lend you money. They just want to lend you money. There's a lot of money in loans. $50,000 car, 1 point on the interest rate is probably $1,500. 1 point. Might be even more than that, quite honestly. 1 point. So that means if you end up with a 7.29 interest rate, but you could have got a 6.29 interest rate, that's probably $1,500 at least. God forbid, 2 points. 2 points. So we take the shopping of our loan just as serious as we take the shopping of our car, but we separate them. And so when you come home, after you seal your deal with the best dealer, you reserve the car, say, hey, great, we already got my business. You got the business. I'm now going to get my loan. I'll call you tomorrow. Then we come and we start the bank bidding war. Well, we started before this, but this is round 2 of it. We come home and we call our bank, we call our credit union, we go online, let all the online lenders access our credit. Who's going to give me the best loan for this Lexus that I'm about to pick up tomorrow or the next day? Now, out of all of those people competing, we take the best loan and then we call the dealer and say, hey, this is the best loan I got. If you guys can beat it, I'll give the business to you. That's the bank bidding war, because the dealer has another 5, 7, 10, 15 banks that he gives a lot of business to every month that he wants to see if he can beat that and earn your business on the loan. You want people fighting for your business. Everything is a fight. Everything is a fight. So that's what you want. All right. There you go. It's the biggest thing. I used to call these the 3 pillars of great car deals. Who you buy your car from, who you lease, who you buy your car from, who you get your loan from, who you sell your old car to. You have to bid out each one. And that's how you guarantee you got the best deal. You can't give the dealer all 3 of these and you just work this out for me. No, it's too much money in each of those transactions. And once you do this, you'll see it's easy. Nothing I'm telling you is hard. All right? Nothing that I'm telling you is hard. All right? Vince, I see you. Wait, did we get any questions on Instagram yet? Okay, hold on. Let me see. Because I said I'd go to Instagram next, and then I got you. Looking to purchase a mobile grooming van. Can these steps be used for that? Certainly. Only thing I would tell you with a business is make sure that your loan, well, you're not a high mileage driver, so absolutely. Anything where you're purchasing a vehicle, new, used, lease, I'm the best resource in the world. I will put my strategies up against it. And not only that, I put anyone who learned from me. I put Benita up against anybody. I put Charles up against anybody. I put Kimberly against anybody. I put Eddie against anybody. I put Danielle against anybody. I put Frina against anybody. I put Pierre against anybody. I put any. So I don't, yeah, of course. You're like, yeah, Deshone, of course you could find a better deal than me. I put anyone who's using my stuff. Tiffany just got my book and just used it and got her Mazda. I put her up against anybody. Because once you learn to get bids, it's a science. Once you learn, you're going to get better deals than anyone who's not getting bids. Always. Because you're going to talk to the same dealers they're talking to, and you're going to talk to a lot more other dealers than them faster than them. So the name of the game is bid. So for all of you who just jumped on, everything I'm teaching is out of my new book, Cars from Home. 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealers. You can get your copy for 75% off. It's normally $97, but you can get it for $24 for 30 minutes. When you go and visit my website, deshonsbook.com, and once that timer hits 0, though, it goes back up to $97. So you can get it in the comment section on YouTube or Facebook, or in my Instagram or TikTok bios. I have a website there. You click the website and then click the button for the book. All right. $97 is still a great price. I just couldn't price my book the same as everyone else's. I mean, I can't price my book the same as daggone novels. Shout out to the people who write novels, but I knew this is going to be a financially life-changing book for the people who use it. I just said, okay, but we do a special. So it's normally $97, but we do a special. What websites do you use to get bids? Great question, Drive Greens, Ride Harley, Instagram. New cars, we're going straight to the dealer's website. We're connecting with 25 dealers in 25 minutes, copy and paste, sending all of what we want. Then we're getting the bids from the dealer's websites. With all our communications is done through email, and we always set up a separate email. We never mix personal email, business email with cars, because we're talking to too many dealers at once, keeping our conversations organized. We cannot do it mixing personal and emails. We also get a Google Voice so that we don't have to take phone calls, because there's no talking in our system to car salesmen. There's no talking. So there's no reason for us to be on the phone with a car salesman talking numbers. We don't do it. So those of you who like Deshone, I like that. I don't like to talk. I don't want to talk to car salesmen. You're gonna love this. All right. So if you're watching us on TV, you can scan that QR code to get your book as well. On a used car, though, we are on the marketplaces. See, my used car strategy is called the multiple marketplace strategy. It's different than our new car strategy. The multiple marketplace strategy is for is when you're going everywhere used cars are. You're going to cars.com, Carfax, Auto Trader, Car Gurus, Driveway, Carvana, CarMax, eBay Motors. And then we're narrowing down from there. I spoke a little bit about that earlier in the stream. So it's 2 totally different systems, 2 totally different shopping strategies. All right. And let's pull that in. Hi, is Limbuzz to credit acceptance? No, Limbuzz is not credit acceptance. I don't believe they are. I think Limbuzz is a startup. They recently started that company a couple of years ago. Vince, I have a 2013 Volkswagen Jetta. Oh, it's 6,000 negative equity, low credit score. Can I sell it and get a new truck? First thing you want to do is the equity assessment, because I don't know where you're coming up with that 6,000 negative equity number. There's only 3 ways to get out of negative. There's only 3 things you can do for all of you who have negative equity. 3 things. And most of you should be transitioning to a lease, because the cause of your negative equity is not leasing, but trading in cars. Look, when you trade in your cars or replace your cars in this cycle while you still have a loan, that's the formula for negative equity, because you lost so much value, but your loan didn't get, your loan's still moving like this, creeping, but your car's value drops like a rock. So 3 things you can do with negative equity. You can either get the bids, call your bank, get your payoff. Then you're going to get the bids from the highest bidders. Kelly's Blue Book, Instant Cash Offer, CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, Auto Nation, Sell My Car, and Car Gurus, Sell My Car. 6 bids, 3 from local dealers and 3 from online car buyers. That's done in like 20 minutes. That's our equity assessment process. See, we're bidding out to see the most money someone will pay for our car. We're not going to a website, putting in 3 things and, oh, your car's worth $30,000. That means 0. It's trash. We are going through these 5-minute appraisals, telling them about our car, and then getting offers. Then we see where our negative equity is. Now, whatever your negative equity there is, that's the smallest amount you're going to have. I would pay the difference. If I had the cash, that is what I would be doing, paying the difference. Because when you can't pay the difference, you must now trade. This is the only time we trade. The only time we trade a car is when we have negative equity, because we need the dealer who we buy the car from to wrap our negative equity into our new deal. So that's the only time. So if we can't pay the difference after we do the equity assessment, now we're going to now look for our new car. Let's put our old car on hold. I saw my equity, negative equity. I can't pay the difference. Now I'm going to move in to shopping for my replacement car. Once you get your bids, now you look up and you say, okay, this is the dealer that's going to sell me the new car for the lowest price. Now, once you find that, now you're bringing your car over and you're asking them, hey, what could you guys pay me for this? I'm going to add this car to the deal, or have them look at the car, because now don't expect them. You're going to have a higher amount of negative equity because they're not going to be able to beat the highest offer. If CarMax was the highest offer, they were paying you 20 grand. The dealer who wins your business is not going to pay you 20 grand. It's not worth that to them. They might give you 17. They might give you 18. So don't say, oh, well, CarMax was going to give me this. That's why I told you step one is to pay the difference, because those are the highest offers we're going to get. Then if you can't, you bring your car over. But if you have too much negative equity, you're going to have to, you can't do that deal. You can't slap 10 grand of negative equity on a $30,000 car. The bank won't approve it. It's something called loan to value ratios. So when the bank sees, okay, this car is worth 30,000, they're buying, but they're asking us to lend them 40,000. Why? We're not going to do that. You can have a 900 credit score. That's why I call negative equity the bad credit for people with good credit. Because too much negative equity, you'll leave with no car. The bank can't do it unless you put money down. These are also the only scenarios where you must put money down. You can't do a no money down deal, because they're telling you the bank won't approve all of that. So in order for you to get this approval, you got to come up with like 3 grand because you have too much negative equity. But you still need to bid out who you're getting the car from, because if you bid out, now pay attention here, very important. When you get bids on who you're getting the car from, you never know if that car has rebates on it. You never know if you're going to get how much of a below market deal you're going to get. And the more below market deals you get, the more room you have to bring negative equity over. See, if someone's buying a $40,000 car, but they got it for 35, let's use Tiffany, for example. Let's use Tiffany. This is a perfect example, and I've never done this before, but I'm glad. So Tiffany bought a $44,000 vehicle. She got it for 65. She got 6,500 off. So now the bank will lend, usually with good credit, 20% above that MSRP. So if her car was 44,000, the bank will lend an additional 9 grand above that number, above the 44. So she got such a good deal. She got the vehicle for 38,000. Let's just say, for an example, she had 8 grand of negative equity she wanted to bring over, and she wanted to do no money down. She'd still be under the loan to value ratios because she got such a deep discount. See, the loan to value ratios doesn't change. If she got a $10,000 discount, that gives her more room if she had a bunch of negative equity. So if you don't know how to shop and get bids for the new car to save all the money, you're really eliminating any, possibility you have to bring over a good amount of negative equity, because you are just not getting enough off the car to make it make sense. So that's why even when you have negative equity, if you can't pay the difference between the car and the online bidders, you still want to take the second part, which is getting bids for whoever's going to sell you the car seriously, because if you don't get a good discount and you try to slap all that negative equity over, they're not going to allow it. And then you're stuck. Or you're not stuck, you just need to stay in that car and pay down the balance more. So those are the solutions for negative equity. And then the biggest thing is stay out of it. Stop buying cars that you're not keeping 8 years. Start getting great lease deals like we teach, and you won't have this problem. Everything we talk about, y'all, is in my new book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's everything I teach in a step-by-step way. Lease deals, selling cars, selling leases, getting new cars, getting used cars, bad credit, high mileage drivers, all in there. broken down into 7 steps for different types of people. So it's normally $97, but I'm gonna post the link in the comments for you guys on Facebook. All right, and YouTube, there's the comment for you. And if you're on Instagram or if you're on TikTok, it's in my bio. You click that link. As long as that timer didn't hit 0 yet, you got your 75% off. You can get yours for $24. And this is what we do all day long. Insider strategies, get through as many as we can. We've been on for about an hour and 15 minutes, so we'll wrap for today. When you see the rebroadcast, make sure you tell your friends about it. We rebroadcast these shows all day long, so even if they couldn't join us live, they can get value from the rebroadcast, all right? I'll see y'all in the next stream. Shout out to y'all. Have a great evening. God bless you.
The worst possible thing you could say when you walk into a car dealership. I spent 5 years with Mercedes-Benz, 5 with General Motors, and the worst thing a person could say when they walk in is, if you could just get me to this payment, we got a deal.
So your loan's probably still like 19, which means you got to pay to get out. You're upside down. It's called negative equity.
Welcome everybody to Car Shopping Questions and Answers special live show. We are live. This isn't a rebroadcast. If you don't see the banner, we're doing a special early morning live right now. So you know you may or may not know we rebroadcast these shows throughout the day. I'm your host Deshone, publicly known as Deshone the Auto Advisor. Spent 14 years in the car business. Now what I do is help everyone willing to listen, learn the science of car shopping from home, and how to stop negotiating and start making dealers and banks bid for your business. And that is how we save more money in less time than you will save spending hours and days at dealerships like you are most likely used to. So you guys can start typing your questions in. I do have my man Dolan moderating in the background. He'll bring the questions into the show. I always like to do a little housekeeping. I'm the author of the new digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. We are currently rated at 4.94 stars. Actually, right now, I got to do another screenshot. We got 35 ratings and 28 reviews. So thank you to everyone who's reviewed the book on Goodreads. And you can get your copy for 75% off during the show in my TikTok bio or my Instagram bio for 30 minutes. Okay, it's normally $97. We also have a comment in the Facebook and YouTube section, in the comment section. And we're going to put a banner up. Dolan, can you throw that banner up for those who may be watching us on TV so they can scan it? You can just scan that QR code with your mobile phone. I've also done a free masterclass called Everything You're Doing Wrong, Buying, Selling, and Leasing Cars. It's a 1-hour masterclass where I go deep on 23 mistakes that most of you are making because the car business has programmed you to make them, and how you can stop doing that. You can also attend that masterclass for free in my bio, but you will need a good hour to lock in. So with that being said, let's get it done. Let's get these questions coming in. Hey, what's up? What's up, Tuesday, child? Shout out to the people sharing on TikTok. Y'all already running the likes up on TikTok. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to everybody tapping the screen. And let me get Instagram up. I like to see Instagram up too. There we go. All right. I see you, Jake Neer. I just tore your name up. Forgive me. We're going to bring that question in. Dolan, we just got somebody on Instagram. So whenever you get yep, all right, I see we're good. Hold on, let me turn that down. Butterfly Wings on Instagram. How do you negotiate a lease online? Great question. So you want to figure out what you want first. Go test drive it. I always say with a lease, you want 3 options, because using what I'm about to tell you, you're going to get great prices. You'll get below market prices, but it doesn't mean the lease program's good. The only way the lease program's good is if all of the offers you get, if the best one comes at least below 1.5. Now, depending on what car you're looking at, the best offer you get might come at 1.3, might come at 1.1, might come under 1%, but you must get at least 5 offers because 80% of dealers are overpriced. So you're going to figure out what you want. Then you're going to go to the dealer's websites. I mean, if you're going to do it my way is using the dealer's websites, because I don't like to use any third-party sites where they're selling our information. So we're going to go direct to the dealer's websites. Then we're going to tell them what we want online. And then we're going to have conversations by email. But you must set up a separate email. If you try to do this with your personal email or your work email, it's not going to work, because you're going to have too many dealers emailing you. So you want a separate email. This is all in my book. I'm telling you what I call my 25-to-5 system. We reach out to 25 dealers online, and we're going to get 5 quotes from those 25. One of those quotes is going to beat everybody else. So it's a numbers game. So reaching out to dealers online, telling them what you want, having the conversations. Now, if you're not going to get my book, which is $24 in the comment section or in my bio, as long as you get there with this 75% off, then you might do it manually. You might call and get these offers. You might call, ask for a manager. I don't talk to salespeople. So anything I'm ever teaching you to do is going to be to avoid salespeople. That's why we're avoiding dealerships altogether, but especially salespeople, because you don't know who you're going to get. You don't know if you're going to get, you just don't know who you're going to get. And 80% of salespeople should not be in the car business. So that's why we're never going to talk to salespeople to try to get our offers. We're either going to deal with managers, or you're going to do it my way, which you're not even talking. You're using my scripts, because I wrote the templates that you use. You fill in what you want, send it out to the dealers. Then when they come back, you got to expect this, y'all. You got to expect that dealers 80% are not going to make it easy. They're going to try to have a conversation with you, even by email, to get you on their terms, to get you on the phone, to get you to, hey, can I get your address? Hey, can we have a quick conversation? Hey, when can you come in? That's why I wrote scripts for everything you copy and paste to them. Like when they say, yo, can I get you on the phone? Hey, I'm going to be handling all my purchase online, and then you ask a question, because there's phases to what we're doing when we're communicating online. There's phases. First thing we're trying to do is see who has a car. There's no point in us talking to a dealer that doesn't even have a car we're interested in. That's why the first thing we're doing when we contact them is letting them know, this is what I'm looking for. These are my options. I'll do a blue, gray, or silver one. These are the packages I'm looking for. That's the first thing. We're letting them know what we're looking for. We're letting them know our deadlines. So if you don't have a car, we're not even talking and moving to the next step. So the first conversation, the first set of scripts that I wrote is to verify who even has a car. Then once we verify who has a car, let's say we connect with 25 dealers online like we do, then you're going to come down and say, all right, and this is the only bad part I'm telling you about calling around. Because if you talk to managers, you don't know who has a car. So that's the first thing. Before you request a quote, get a price, you must verify, do these people even have a car that matches something that I would consider? So once you verify that, now it's time to request the offer. And our goal is to get at least 5 offers, 5 to 7, because 80% of dealers are going to be overpriced. And you need to reveal that to yourself. When you start seeing these offers, how am I looking at the same car? One person is $20,000, another person $23,000, another person $25,000. That's the way it works. Tuesday shout, this information is priceless. I appreciate you. That's what we do. And we only do it for the people who are locked in. A couple of you are locked in, and that's who you are, who I'm here for. So that's what you want. You could either do it manually or you could do it my way using emails. It's up to you. But I didn't want you talking, because I know the more you talk, the more you're going to mess up the deal. No offense, I wouldn't talk. I'm a great negotiator. I wouldn't talk. The more I talk, the more I'm messing up the deal. The more I give up, we don't want to be in a verbal battle. Because again, we're not negotiating traditionally anymore. We're not doing what's called one-to-one negotiations, where you're sitting down with one person looking to get a deal, we're doing what's called one-to-many negotiations, which is how you save the most money, because when other people know you are shopping multiple offers, they're kind of negotiating against each other versus negotiating with just you. So, all right, that's how you got to do it if you want to do it quick and save all the money. Okay, go ahead, Dolan, shoot the next one in. We are live. I know y'all are not used to seeing us live this time. Whenever you don't see the banner above me that tells you the times we're live, that means we're live. So we're just doing a special early morning here on the East Coast live. But you know, we do broadcast these shows throughout the day, so you can be seeing this at any time. And we found that a lot of people get value out of the live show or the rebroadcast, because the people who are live with us are actually asking the same questions that people would be asking, you know, whether they're watching the rebroadcast. Okay, this is from Instagram. My lease is ending in October. I received a text from my dealer that they have great deals available. Absolutely. Should I even explore those offers at this point or wait until my lease ends? That's a great question. Would you ever get a text that said, we have bad deals right now? No, right? The only text you're going to look, who's getting calls right now from dealers, just so we can let this young man I can't tell by your name, just so we can let this person know that it's not just them. Who's getting texts, emails, phone calls right now? We have great deals right now from the dealer who sold them their car. Type me if you are getting those calls or texts. All right. Look. Look, on all the platforms, we got people typing me. So you understand, it's not just you. These are automated things. Even when they call you and say, hey, look, look, everybody. Even when they call you and say, hey, your 2019 Subaru Impreza, that red one you got. Matter of fact, you could have the most one-off color. You know that lime green Subaru Impreza you got? I got somebody looking for that exact car. This is all automated stuff. This is all templates. That's the reason why we use templates. That's the reason why I want you to use templates. The templates in my book, because this is copy and paste. Hey, Jim, the deals are great right now. Hey, Jane, we could get you out of your lease early. If we could just have a short conversation. So before you even think about anything, I need you to never fall for that. Never think this is an isolated thing for me. This is a template that goes out to thousands of people, and my name and information is filled in, even when you get letters to your house. So now we don't want to emotionally react to anything when it comes to car dealer marketing, because it works very well. It works on the public very well. That's why the showrooms are packed at the end of the month, at the end of the year. That's why it's marketing. It has nothing to do with getting great deals. Now, what you should be doing is controlling your deal. First thing you're going to do is decide whether you're leasing or buying again. If you're not buying your car to keep it 8 years to beat depreciation, then you should not be buying. You should be leasing. So if you're already in a lease and things haven't changed, like me and my wife, we went from leasing. We leased our last five cars. And then, I noticed my wife kept getting the same color vehicle. I said, look, do you really want a new vehicle every couple of years? She said, I could keep a vehicle 8 years. So we ended up buying something. So once we decide we're long-term, we're going to beat depreciation, that's the purchase route. Now, if we're not, we're leasing. So once we are shopping for, once we decide that's step one in my process. See, I want you guys to get familiar with shopping with a process versus just winging it. Step one is leasing versus buying, because if that's the foundation of your car deals, if you structure your deal incorrectly and you purchase what you should have leased, there's no way for you to get a great deal. You're going to overspend by thousands of dollars. Doesn't matter. Okay? Doesn't matter. So now, once we move past that, we need to do an equity assessment. We need to see, can I get out of this lease early, or am I going to wait until the end? That's the simple answer you're looking for. Now, there's 3 types of equity assessments. There's equity assessments for people who have leases that they need to see if there's any money in them. There's equity assessments for people who have vehicles they own or finance. And then there's equity assessments for people who have third-party restrictions on their leases. There's 3 different routes depending on, what situation you're in, but it doesn't change the fact you're getting bids for the vehicle you have. That is the name of the game, getting bids for the vehicle you have. So you're going to call your bank. In your case, I'm going to tell you how to do the lease equity assessment because you don't own this vehicle. So somebody else on here, if you want to ask a question about, okay, Deshone, well, I need to replace my car, but I own it or I'm financing it, then you can ask that question. But in your case, what you're going to do is call your leasing company, get your payoff, and then you're going to ask them, do I have a third-party restriction? Now, if they say no, you don't have a third-party restriction, great. You're going to simply go to get the 6 bids from these 6 companies: CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer. The Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer tool, where they connect you with a local dealer who makes you a cash offer, and AutoNation, Sell My Car, and Car Guru, Sell My Car. The last 3 connect you with a local dealer to get a bid. The first 3 are online car buyers. These are the most savvy car buyers. They cut checks instantly. This isn't like listing your car privately. This is like, hey, I come in, I see you do an inspection, I leave with a check. So these are the bidders right here. So this takes 20 minutes. When you go on these websites, you're going to see a question that says, is your vehicle owned, leased, or financed? You want to put owned. You want to put owned. So if you don't have a third-party restriction, you simply reserve the right to sell to the highest bidder, but you're going to need to now put that offer on hold, and then you begin shopping for your replacement car. But only if you have equity. If you don't have equity, then you're going to wait. If you see that your payoff is 18 and your highest offer is 17, you don't have equity. You're just going to wait until you got about 1 month left on your lease, and then you'll start shopping. Once you pay your last payment, you can start shopping because you can always extend the lease for free. I like to have at least 3 months to shop. I like to have at least 3 months to shop. I want to see the offers for 3 months. I want to see if the offers are phenomenal first month, I'll take it. If my lease is up and the offers weren't good the first month, then I'll extend the lease for free for a month. So I'm going to give myself 2 to 3 months. So as soon as you make your last payment, that's when I will begin shopping if you don't have equity in the lease. Now, if you have a third-party restriction, you're going to follow that same process I just told you, except you're going to end up selling to a used car manager at a dealership that makes the same brand as you. Give you an example. If you have a third-party restriction on a BMW, you can only sell to a BMW dealer. You can't. Then some people buy the car and resell it. I don't like doing that because you pay taxes and fees when you do that. I simply like to get bids from at least 3 BMW dealers, and I'll sell to them. So that's how we do it. That's the first step. There's nothing else to think. Many people think, oh, well, what about the next car, the replacement car? Until you do your equity assessment, there's nothing else to think about. And I don't want you thinking about multiple steps when you haven't done the most important step for you right now, which is the equity assessment. After that, you can move. So my book is 7 steps. You got to do 1 step at a time because it's not a thing you read. We don't do the whole process. We do it one by one. If you called me and said, Deshone, I'm getting a car, what's my first step? I'm going to tell you this. And then you call me back when that's done. Okay, I did that. Now, what's this now? Here we go. Do this now. Go to these websites. All right, perfect. I'll call you back when I'm done. All right, perfect. And before you know it, we're at step 7 and you're picking up your car. But it's an action program. Okay, and there's little steps along the way to make sure that we protect ourselves and save the most money and get below market deals. Okay, so handle that. Go ahead, Dolan. All right, we are live, y'all, so you can keep typing your questions. I see you. Thank you, JC Math. Thank you for all your knowledge. Appreciate you. That's what we're here for. Use it. Use it. Don't be a listener. Be a doer. All right. TikTok, does down payment really matter? It doesn't, Tyrant. We always shop with all our deals with no down payment. We always shop with all our leases with no down payment. And when we're buying our cars, we're shopping for the car separate from the loan. So you have to understand something. The reason why you get down payments mixed up is because you mix the buying of the car with the getting of the loan. You're in the business of getting the loan from the dealer And there's nothing wrong with that if it's done correctly. We do not shop and say, okay, how much is this car a month? And can I get it with no money down? No, that means you're mixing two things. I want to buy a car from you, but I'm also going to give you my loan as well. I want you to just mix it up. No, because there's money in both of those transactions. So when we are shopping for a car to purchase, we're shopping for the dealer who's going to give us the best price on the car. That's priority one. The loan is completely separate. The person who's going to give you the loan is you're going to use, if you're following what we teach, you're going to use our bank bidding war process, where multiple banks and credit unions bid for our business without hurting our credit. You got to know how to do this strategically. Okay, it's called the bank bidding war, where we have everything we do as a bid. That's how we eliminate buyer's remorse. That's how we guarantee we get below market prices. That's how we guarantee we get below market loans. Everything is a bid. So when you are looking for your car, you're looking for the car. If you're looking at a Nissan Altima, you're looking for the Nissan dealer that's going to sell you the car at the lowest price. And you're going to need 5 offers to do that. So once you find the Nissan dealer that's going to sell you the car for the lowest price and beat all their competitors, this is now when we come home and we get our loans in order. This is when we come home and we say, okay, boom. All right, I'm going to have my bank, my credit union, some online banks, go online, banks and lenders who, do car loans online. I'm going to have all of these people start bidding on my business, because now I have a car that I'm looking to go pick up in the next 24, 48 hours. And then after we get that round done, we're going to call and see if the dealer can beat it. That's the bank bidding war. You have 10, 15 people bidding for your business in a 24, 48 hour period. And when you end up getting your car, it only affects your credit like one hard inquiry, even though you had 15 of them. So all the inquiries will show, but a weight on our credit score will show as one hard inquiry, because it's called proper rate shopping. So that's how we make sure we get the best loan, and that's how we make sure we get the best price on the car. If you've been mixing these two, it's no way for you to guarantee your best deal. There's no way for you to save all the money mixing the loan with the deal and with the car you buy. And then some of you even mix the trade in and say, okay, I'm going to give you my old car, and I'm going to buy a car from you, and I'm going to get a loan from you, and I'm not going to get bids on any of these transactions. Impossible not to overpay doing that. Sorry, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's how I have to deliver it for you to understand. Come out of that cloud. Come out of that cloud, shopping that way. Okay? But down payments doesn't matter. Only people that can't do no money down deals are people that have way too much negative equity and they don't have any money. If you are trying to bring a lot of negative equity over the deal, the bank's not going to approve it, because they only are going to lend a certain amount above the price of the vehicle. But here's what's very important. And no, we're not going to talk about the negative equity right now. We'll let that be a question in and of itself. But the only people who can't do no money down deals are people with large amounts of negative equity. It becomes more difficult for you to do those deals. All right. Go ahead, Dolan. Great question. Okay. Jay Golden Gate from Instagram. Is this all in your book? Everything that I'm teaching is in my book. Every answer to every question that I'm giving on every live stream is out of my book, Cars from Home. 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. I even try to let you know what step I'm teaching from, because I want you to get familiar with the steps. Step 1 is the most important question. How many years you keep in the car? That's the 8-year rule, leasing versus buy question, because that's the foundation of your car transaction. I could help you save all the money possible. You can get big discounts on the car, but if you purchase the car, but you should have leased it, you're going to overspend by thousands of dollars. So that's why that's the first step, most important question. Second step is equity assessment. Third step, we structure our deals. We need to know, and this isn't budgeting. This is literally structuring our deal and knowing on a lease, what would a good deal be? On a purchase, what are my offers going to be? What am I looking for purchase price wise to be below my budget? That's deal structure. Then we're moving to shopping, not buying. This is where we choose our car, do a little research, 5-10 minute research to make sure the car we're looking at is not a problem car, doesn't have bad reliability ratings, doesn't have bad longevity ratings, doesn't have bad initial quality rating. These are quick steps. And then we test drive if we're looking at a new car or a lease. We test drive it in that step. Then we move to multiple offers. Step 5, where we're in the market, getting bids, getting offers, actually able to take a deal across the finish line if it presents itself to us. Step 6 is paperwork and protection, which means, all right, we got our deal now. Now let's finalize our loan. Let's go over some paperwork. Do we need extended warranty, tire and wheel? And then step 7 is delivery. Everything I teach comes out of one of those 7 steps. And yes, that's all in my book. And you can get your copy at deshonsbook.com for 75% off for 30 minutes. Or you can go to my Instagram bio or TikTok bio, click that link there, and then click the button that says get the book for 75% off. You won't pay the $97. But yes, good question. Go ahead, Dolan. Will older Toyota Camrys 2023, 2024 be cheaper or have more incentives due to the redesign of the 2025 Camry coming out? That's a good question. You never know. It depends on if they have a lot left over. So what I always say to anybody who's thinking you want to get a pre-owned car, but you only want to get it like 1 or 2 years old, you got to be careful doing that. Depending on the car, I'm going to tell you why. I've had people who wanted to get a new one, I mean, a 1 or 2 year old one, but I said, first of all, you're not going to have enough inventory to properly gauge what below market is on those vehicles. Because the only way dealers get pre-owned cars is somebody trades it in or somebody returns it off lease. So if they, or they buy it from an auction, which means somebody had to replace it. Somebody had to get rid of it. So you don't typically see people replace their cars in 1 or 2 years. So that's why you don't see a lot of 1 or 2 year old vehicles. So what I always say is you need to be running the prices on the brand new ones. Now, in the case of a redesign, maybe you don't see too many incentives, but you still never know. We had somebody hop on the show 3 days ago, and she said that she got a brand new BMW X4 M Edition, popular truck, new, and she's saving $7,000 on that particular vehicle. So you just never know. But there are vehicles out here where you can save thousands off a brand new one. So give you an example. Somebody, Frena, she leased her Jeep. She probably got 10 grand off the price. Okay. And some of you know, if you've been on the stream before, that I regularly share people that get, on certain cars, you get 20, Maserati, Kimberly's Maserati, she got 20 grand off. Sean, he got 20 grand off on his F-150 Lightning. So you don't know what you're going to get until you get into the market and see what the demand is for that vehicle and see what the rebates are. You don't know until you get all those offers. None of those people knew they were going to save 20 grand. No one knew they were going to save 10 grand, 7 grand. They only get in and then they get the offers and they see this is their best deal. So if I end up being able to save 7 grand off a new one, then what should I pay for a 1 year old one? That's the point. If the new market, if I don't have enough inventory to compare the 1 year old ones, because you're not, then I can only compare it to the new market. So if you do it my way, it takes 60 to 90 minutes to get all these offers. Before one trip to the grocery store, sitting down at your computer doing it my way, you'll be able to see what the market is for any vehicle. And when you really get quick, you'll be able to do it in like 45 minutes, copying and pasting. So once you see that, if the new market for the car is 7 grand off, how much should I pay for a 1 year old one? Well, it better be at least 10, maybe 11, because a brand new one is 7 grand off. Now, opposite is true. If I could only get 2 grand off sticker, that's my best offer. Then maybe a 1 year old one I'm looking for 7, 8 grand off sticker, 9 grand. So you got to know what the new market is, because the worst mistake you could make is to get a 1 or 2 year old pre-owned car that has a heavily discounted new car market. that has $5,000 rebates on the new car. Think about Sean. I want to use an extreme case, but even cases that are not this extreme will still make a huge difference. Sean, he saves 20 grand off his F-150 Lightning. What happens if somebody said, now that's a $73,000 vehicle I'm showing on the screen. What happens if somebody says, well, I want a 1-year-old one or a 2-year-old one? Now they think, all right, I'm gonna go and look for one that's probably about 50, 55. Now they go pay 55 for a 2-year-old one. But Sean getting his bids and revealing what the below market prices are on a truck like this, he saves 20 grand. So he pays 53 and the person buying the 2-year-old one pays 55. Do we understand how horrible that would be for the person who got the 2-year-old one? We clear? Type clear before we move on. This is only for recent cars. This is only for 1 or 2-year-old. If you're going 3-year-old, there's typically enough cars for you to compare prices. But those of you, we've had a lot of people over the years that target a 1 or 2-year-old one. I would tell you, shop the new car market, because that's going to give you the parameters you need to know what a deal should be on a 1 or 2-year-old one. All right, there we go. Good question. Let's go, Dolan. Shoot the next one up, brother. Let's put the banner back up for those of you who want your book, 75%. Now, just so you know, once that timer on my website hits 0, the price goes back up to $97. So be aware of that. Get your $24 book if you want. I mean, look, $97 is great. Let's be honest here. We usually keep cars for a while, but we see a lease deal for $189, 0 due. This is trash. This is trash. 36 months only for commuting to work, perfect credit. And I'm gonna tell you what's trash: advertisements. Deals are not advertised. Deals are not advertised. First of all, the 189 is going to be on a specific vehicle, and it's not going to include taxes and fees. I'm under the mindset now, if it's 189, 0 due, 36 months for commuting, okay, 30,000 miles, which is right at what we do. That's 10,000 miles per year. All right, that's great. You can adjust the lease up to 30,000 miles a year if you want, but they only need 10. Do I need to negotiate this? That's always, look. I'm gonna tell you this. So Frina called. She's in a group that we have here. Now Frina was shopping originally for a Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited because she had one already. So she posted to our group. She said, Deshone, the best offer on a Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited I got out of all my offers was 1.2. I said, that's still good. She said, yeah, but she said but the dealer is saying that they have another model that they could do better on. They said they could probably get me to 1% on that. I said, okay, you need to shop that offer again. You need to shop, you need to get bids on whatever model they're saying, because what happens if that model has different incentives, a better lease program, and you're just taking them for face value? Just because they're the best on this car doesn't mean they're the best on this other one. She said, okay. So and we do this in minutes. So she got her 5 offers. She got her 5 offers on the new one. She ended up getting the best deal I've seen in 3 years. 0.88% lease. So I don't know for a fact, to answer your question, if they're going to, once they add the taxes and the fees to the deal, I don't know where it's going to be. But here's what I do know. Great deals are not advertised. So deals where dealers are like, I don't really want to do that. It's tight. Like, they didn't love doing that deal for Frina. They just did it because they wanted to move a car. I'm always, especially knowing what we know. See, for you, shopping might be hard. That's why I'm trying to give you the formula and give you the recipe to getting deals online so that you can start getting bids in minutes. Even if you're going to do it manually by phone, it's still better than you just going in and saying, okay, that's what you advertise, give me that. That's just not below market, because anything below market is not, if anyone can get it, it's not below market, it's average. The stuff that I'm showing y'all, every single thing you see, anyone ain't just going and getting these numbers. Y'all see these lease deals that I share. Y'all see these discounts on these purchases I share. Y'all see Tiffany, if you were on the stream the other day, you saw Tiffany wrote in, just got her Mazda $44,000 brand new 2024 Mazda. And at the time of this recording, that's literally 2 weeks ago. She saved $6,500 off a brand new Mazda. These are not deals people are getting. These are below market deals. So it's really your personal preference. If you want to be lazy with it, go in and try to fight for that advertisement. If you want to know for a fact you got the best deal on that particular vehicle, you sit at home and you get bids from at least 5 dealers, because 80% are overpriced. So it's your choice. I'm always doing it. This takes 45 minutes to do. By the time you get home, like whatever car this is, let's just say it's a Toyota Corolla, whatever car it is, by the time he goes, visits the dealer and comes home, I would have done the process to get offers, to get at least 5 offers on that same vehicle. That's how quick this is. Go ahead, Dolan. All right. What's up, Paul? YouTube. Have you ever heard a dealership tell you that you have too many cars when trying to get a loan from a dealership? I currently have 6 cars and they stated I should trade in at least 2 to 3 vehicles. Absolutely. Absolutely. If those cars are attached to your personal credit, then most definitely. The only way that wouldn't matter is if you had those cars in a business credit where it wasn't showing against your personal debt to income. So, if you have several cars in a business name that's not showing, then that's showing them the business is taking care. They won't even see them in many cases. So if you have, 6 cars on your personal credit, of course, at any given time, yeah, if any one of those lenders is taking a risk, because what happens if the economy shifts? What's the chances that he's going to be able to pay 6 cars? So for sure, your best bet is going to be trying to, secure outside funding, outside financing. But that's what we would do anyway. We would always be shopping for our credit, our loans separately, and then giving the dealer the chance to beat it, for sure. And if you can support that, if you can show the income to support it, but it absolutely is very risky from a lender's perspective. Very, very risky. You just need to find the right lender at this point who is willing to take the risk, because obviously most people, it's hard to get a second car. Second car is hard because they're looking at normal people. Normal people are not going to be able to support a second car. Maybe a second car though, a third, a fourth, a fifth. No, I don't even know how you got those done, but however you did, it's income. I mean, I've had people make, $800,000, $900,000 a year. Okay, so it's all income based. So I'm not going to sit up here and tell you I don't know how you got it done. If a bank sees that you make $500,000 a year, and you're bringing in $10,000 a week, and they say, okay, $40,000 a month. Okay, car payments are $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 even. Okay, but you're going to reach a point where they're going to start to see that, okay, this is too much risk. So I wouldn't be dealing with dealers, banks, especially if they're telling you trade 2 or 3 cars. You need to find a bank or a financing source that's going to be comfortable taking that type of risk. And that's it. Go ahead, Dolan. And if you're using those for business, you should really try to get them in a business name. Is your book only digital, or can I get a hard copy? It's only digital, because there's nothing that I can do. First of all, there's so many reasons why it should not be a hard copy. One, the car business changes. My strategies and steps don't change, but the websites we use change. Vroom used to be one of our bidders. Vroom went out of business a couple months ago. So if you had a physical book that you were reading, you'd be going to Vroom and getting we don't do this anymore. So templates, I link you to templates that you scan, you're copying and pasting. I'm linking you to Google Documents. I'm linking you to videos that's in my video library. There's things that I'm linking you to throughout the book. Plus, you jump from a section, like it's like a warp zone. If anybody ever played Mario, when you get to a part where I'm asking, where the most important question is, how many years are you keeping the next car? If your answer is less than 8, you click a link and you're going to the lease section. If your answer is more, eight or more, then you click this and you're going to the purchase section. So it's an interactive book so that you're not reading. It's no way. I don't want to be a person who's leasing a car. I mean, I don't want to be a person who's purchasing my car and I'm kind of skipping all this information about leasing that's not relevant to me. I don't want to do that because now I'm going to get confused. Okay, is this for me or not? So I had to have links that warp you to certain sections that keep you on track. Wouldn't be possible with a physical book. And again, the updates are probably the most major. Those two reasons are why this book would be horrible as a hard copy. Well, I'd just be coming back every 6 months, every year. I'd have to do volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, because that book you bought last year, it's not relevant anymore because there's so many things that change. When I wrote my first book, 52 Car Buying Questions Smart People Don't Ask, that was 2021. 2021, that was a digital book as well, but the format of it was so rigid. Once things changed, I couldn't change it. I had to totally write a whole nother book. Plus, I wanted to do it step by step. But back then, TrueCar had more power than they have now. That TrueCar has no power now. So all of these things, the markets change. So we need to make sure that all the information we're giving is able to be updated. So when you open the book a year from now, it's relevant. And that's because we're updating the main file. Could never do that with a hard copy. All right, legit question though. Go ahead, Dolan. We are live, y'all. I know you don't usually see me live this time of the day, but we decided to do a special live. So whenever you don't see the banner above my head, you're watching a live show. When you see the banner, that means you're watching the rebroadcast because we rebroadcast the shows throughout the week. So that way, if you couldn't catch the whole show or if your friends and family need to see it, you can always point them to the show on any of the 4 platforms. But we are actually live now, so you can type your question. Do you suggest putting a car in your business name with or without a PG? I'm not in the business of teaching people how to get business loans without personal guarantees. So, whoever told you could do that, you should follow them to learn what banks, what cars do that. But you should still use my system to get the prices. Because one thing I see about these people who buy cars in their business credit, they just overpay like crazy. They walk in and say, "Oh yeah, I want this car right here." They don't know how to get below market deals. Same thing with influencers walking in with checks. Hey, your girl got a G-Wagon. Yo, your boy just got the Range Rover Supercharged autobiography. Man, they walk in and they are getting hit. I don't want to use that word on YouTube. They are getting hurt big time financially on these cars. So I would say, and I say the same thing with people who do Toro or who do who have a rental car business. You need to learn from someone who's going to teach you the business systems. That's the stocking of the inventory. That's the insurances. That's the how to market the business. That's the, best practices in the business. But then you need me because we're the best at teaching people how to buy the inventory for the lowest prices. People are overpaying for their inventory because they view it as the business's money. That's ridiculous. Business's money is your money. So, but whether it's a PG or without a PG, get it done. If you sign in PG, I don't see most banks are not going to do that because what you're saying is, here's my business. If something happens and this car is not paid, the business needs to have the assets for you to go after that'll pay the car. If the business doesn't have the assets, the bank is saying we're coming after somebody who has the assets. That means you could just be like, one day, all right, I'm not paying for these cars no more. Take them back. And then there's no recourse. Most banks are not going to do that at all. But some will. If some are doing it, just find the people who's teaching you which banks do it and follow them. Okay? It's up to you. I've had plenty of people buy cars in their business name, personal guarantee it, and it doesn't show in their debt to income. And now, very important before we go to the next question, if this is your goal, you need to call the finance manager at the brand. So if you're like, oh, I want a Honda, you need to talk to a finance manager at a Honda dealership and say, if I buy a car in my business name and personal guarantee it, will it show against my personal credit? Because it will with Mercedes as far as 2019. And I learned that the hard way. Me and the customer. It was, I said, the customer was buying cars in their business name, real estate developer, and he came and he got a Mercedes Benz. He put it in his business name with the personal guarantee, and it's still reported on his personal credit. Then the finance manager told us, hey, just so you know, yes, it does still show. I'm like, we should have known that before. That's something we should be telling customers before they ever apply, because they're only applying in their business name because they don't want it to show against their personal debt to income. So always double check with a finance manager in the brand, okay? Everything that I learned the hard way, that's what I teach and warn against. So everything, negative equity, leasing, it was all based on mistakes that I saw people making. And I said, okay, how do we get into this? All right, now I need to teach people to do different things. Okay, go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next one up. All right, keep typing your questions, y'all. TikTok, Arthur, what's going on? Yeah, I don't see a lot of questions on TikTok. What's up? Although y'all are running the likes up, appreciate you tapping the screen. See, well, here's what I say. Every time you hear something you like, every time you're like, oh, that makes sense, just tap the screen. It just runs the likes up and it lets TikTok know we talking big business over here. So I appreciate y'all. Arthur from TikTok said, what's the best way to handle being upside down? Ride it out? That's a good question. Now, that's the third choice. The best way, so what you got to know for those of you who are upside down in your loans, you have cars, do your equity assessment. I talked about the equity assessment at the beginning of the show. Do the equity assessment. Once you see that you're upside down, if your highest offer is 20, but you owe 24, you're upside down. If you could pay the difference, that's the best way. If you could pay the $4,000 outright, that's the best way, because the second option, you're going to have more negative equity than $4,000, because the bidding system is meant to reduce your negative equity by maximizing the price you get for your car. So in order to maximize the price we get for our car, we must get bids. So once we get the bids, we move on and say, okay, I can't pay the difference. Now I have to, I can't even say the word. Who knows the word that I hate using? Starts with a T. We don't do this. Only in these scenarios. Only in these scenarios. Only when you have too much negative equity, you can't pay the difference. You have to do the T word. What is the T word? Anybody know? We might have a bunch of new people on here. They're like, no, Deshone, this is one word we don't do. Okay, nobody? All right. It's trade. It's trade. Yes, Just Neil. Yes, exactly. It's trade. Because what I always say is you're not going to get the most money trading anything. If you got a phone, a cell phone, and you want to trade it, you're not getting the most money for it. Putting it on the market and getting offers, that gets you the most money. So when you say, okay, if I would have took the highest offer from the bidders, then I would only have $4,000 negative equity. Most likely when you end up going this route, you're going to have 5 or 6, because you need a dealer who's going to wrap your negative equity into the new deal. So basically what you should be doing is leasing. There's no reason, 99% of the time, the reason you have negative equity is because you buy cars and replace them quick and you don't lease. I could see, if I'm a doctor financially, I'm going to treat your problem, which is what we're doing. Here's what you could do. You could do some antiseptic. You can use this. But here's what's causing the problem. Okay? So once this thing is healed, you need to know, because if you don't know what's causing it, you're going to be back in this situation again. Short-term owners, you don't keep your cars more than 8 years. You take out 5-6 year loan, you trade them in. Doesn't matter. You're losing too much value in the short term, and that's why you have negative equity all the time. So now let's go a little deeper on this option 2 for negative equity, because there's going to be a lot of people who have it. In 2020, and one day I'm gonna play some of the videos that I posted in 2021 and 2022, warning people not to overpay for these cars, and warning people to use a bidding system so that they will find the best deals. And unfortunately, my voice wasn't loud enough to prevent the tens of thousands of people who are in cars that they overpaid for. So there's going to be a lot of people with negative equity that are looking and saying, okay, Deshone, what do I do now? So first option is what I just told you. That's the best option. You need to have some cash to do that. Second option is, all right, now I'm going to shop for my car. I'm going to shop for my car. And then I'm going to get, and this is important. Let me show this for an example, okay? Because some of you, your knee-jerk reaction is going to be to just walk into a dealer, and let me warn against that. So let's use somebody who got a discount. Okay, here we go. Let's use Tiffany's case. Tiffany bought a car that is, pretty common, and she got bids and she saved a ton of money on it. Now let me show you this. So I'm shopping, I'm getting bids. The reason why I'm getting bids is because I need to know the largest discount I can get off the new car that I'm buying, or off the new car I'm about to lease. Because this is going to be what allows me to transfer my negative equity over to the new car. So she saved $6,500. The reason why this part gets tricky for those of you who have a lot of negative equity, like, over $5,000, $7,000, really over $5,000 of negative equity. It gets tricky because the banks have something called a loan to value ratio. So if you look at where it says our deal MSRP 44,820, and those of you on TikTok, you'll watch it on the replay or you could jump over to YouTube. It's up to you. But the bank is only going to lend about 20% above that number. If you have great credit, maybe 25% above the 44,820. So if you're looking at a car like that, 44,820 is the sticker price. The bank's only going to lend $8,900 more than this. Now, this applies to people who are trying to do no money down deals. You got to realize taxes go on top, fees go on top, probably $1,000 in fees, documentation fee and motor vehicle fees. So between taxes and fees on this vehicle, that's probably another $4,500. So if the bank is only going to lend a certain amount over that and taxes and fees are 45, you really could only put like another 45 grand, $5,000 of negative equity before you are capped. That's why I said, coincidentally, it works out perfectly. On a vehicle like this, you can only roll over about $5,000 of negative equity before you're going to blow out the bank's loan to value ratios, and they're going to say, oh, we can't approve that. We need you to put money down. So, but if you use the bidding system and you saved all the money that she saved, look at where your loan to value ratios is. Her starting price is 38. So literally she can slap. Remember, the bank's going to lend 49 on that $44,000 vehicle. The bank's going to lend 49. That means she could theoretically, have put 10 grand. She could have put, $7,000, $8,000 of negative equity because the discount she got. So the discount you get affects how your overall deal. If you didn't get a discount because you don't know how to shop, and then you're trying to throw negative equity, now you're stuck, or now you got to put money down. But when you're shopping, getting bids, you get all the money off that you possibly can, and now you can throw you can throw larger amounts of negative equity. So somebody who didn't get a discount on that car could only put $5,000 negative equity on it. They could only transfer $5,000 of negative equity over. Somebody who got the discount Tiffany got, they can slap $10,000 of negative equity on top. So that's what you need to know. You are always going to get bids. If you need to replace negative equity, you're always going to get your bid. If you're using my way, you're only going to get bids. You're not going to ever accept a deal without at least 5 offers. But when you start getting your 5 offers, for those of you who have negative equity, you're going to see it makes it a lot easier for you to transfer your negative equity over and still do a no money down lease. Because God forbid, if you put tons of money down on a lease and it gets totaled, you lose that money. So if you have to put money down, 3-4 grand to get it approved, then the vehicle gets totaled, you lose that money because you have to go shop again. But if you put no money down, you rolled over all the negative equity and the vehicle gets totaled, you walk away and you're fresh. Whole different positioning, whole different leverage, whole different exposure. If I just rolled 7 grand over of negative equity to this lease I'm driving, God forbid the vehicle gets totaled, none of my money's in it, I'm out the negative equity. And like, it's a blessing. As long as I'm not hurt, praise the Lord, it's a blessing. So this is financial strategy. I'm a strategist. So that's what you do. Those are the 2 ways to get out of negative equity. You pick your choice. And if you can't do either, then you got to stay and you got to pay down the loan. That's the third option. But once you're out of negative equity, get out of it and stay out of it. Most of you should be transferring that negative equity to a lease, and that's gonna solve your problems in the long run. Go ahead, Dolan. Okay, Andrew on Facebook. What do you think? A trade-in of a car almost the exact same price of the car you want to buy. Listen, we don't trade. You're using curse words on here, man. If I came in your house right now, any valuable object, and I wanted to make you a trade for it, you're not getting the most for it. So that's just what we do. We get bids. We get bids. We're not in the business of wondering, could we have gotten more? When you do trades, when you do this old style shopping, which is, think about this. I'm about to say something and it's gonna be a gut punch. You're shopping like it's 1990. Let that sink in. Everything y'all hear me talking about is new age, right? Stuff you never heard before. Now, I've been in the car business for 14 years. I've been educating people on car shopping from home for 3 years straight. Before that, I ran my own brokerage called Cars from Home, where I did this for people. And then I found that we can help more people teaching them how to fish. So this is something that we've been mastering since really 2015. I haven't been in a dealership to make a deal since 2015. My last deal was when I worked at Mercedes and I bought a used Mercedes when I was there. Forgot about that car. Phenomenal car. Got totaled. But that was the last deal. Every deal I've made for the last 10 years, and I've had 2 Infiniti leases. I've had a Jeep Grand Cherokee lease, and I've had the Infiniti truck that we bought. All been online, below market deals using my own system, using what I'm teaching you. Everything is new. All you hear on these streams is new. Wow, I never heard that before. Oh, that's brand new. I like that. But everything you're talking about doing is 1990. Go in, trade for cars, walk into a dealership, negotiate back and forth. If you're looking and saying, I'm doing the same things to buy my cars that people were doing 30 years ago, you should tell yourself, no wonder I ain't getting below market deals. No wonder I'm leaving hoping that I did all right. Oh, man, you think we could have got more money for the trade? Yeah, I know I should have tried to hit them more. I could have got another 1,500, but you know what, man, let's just, that's buyer's remorse. That's buyer's remorse. This stuff that you accept as normal, buyer's remorse. That is not what we do. So we don't trade, we get bids, we separate our transactions. Who we sell our car to is different than who we buy our car from. That's different than who we getting our loan from. We bid out these transactions using online resources, and we do this stuff in 60 minutes. So while you're there, before you even come back, one trip to the dealership, you've been there 4 hours, I'm here and we're talking to 20 dealers and we're getting thousands of dollars off while you could be potentially talking to an 80% dealer who's overpriced. Some of you know 80% of dealers are overpriced. Whenever you hear me say an 80% dealer, that means when you walk down the street or you drive down the road, if there's 10 dealers on the block, 80% of them are overpriced. 20% of them are great, but you don't know who's who. So if you go into an 80% dealer and he takes off $4,000 and you think you won, his price was so high to begin with that $4,000 he gave you, you lost. See, if I start $6,000 high and then I take off $4,000, you lost. If I start $2,000 high and take off $4,000, you lost. If I start at the normal price and take off $4,000 and beat my competition, you won. So this is what we do. It's a science from shopping from home. That's why the book is called Cars from Home. 7 steps to saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships. Go ahead, Dolan. And bring in Lakina. I see Lakenya on YouTube. Bring her in after Robert. Instagram, y'all keep typing your questions. We are live. We'll do no, I don't do DMs, my olive branch. Thank God we got 2 million followers. There's no way. And none of this stuff is uncommon. See, a lot of times you think your situation is uncommon. Like there's nothing. I've been in this business since 2006. There's nothing I haven't seen. People, oh, but I got a special situation. No, you don't. It's special to you. It's special to you. There's 100,000 other people in that situation, which means I've already planned for it. Unless you're a one-off situation where there's not 100,000 other people in this country in the same situation as you, it's already been planned for. I've seen thousands of transactions over the years, so I can plan for everything. So there's no way functionally, logistically, that I can be in DMs giving people repetitive advice. When I make the information available, you just go get it. You want to get on the stream and try to get it? God bless you. You want to get my book and try to get it? God bless you. You want to go to my masterclass, link in my bio, and attend my masterclass and find out what you've been doing wrong? God bless you. You want to watch my social media videos that I put out every day? God bless you. You just get it. But that's what we do. All right, Robert, Facebook. What is the best way to look for a particular new car instead of going through each dealer's websites in various cities? To look for a particular new car, I'm going on a dealer's website. I'm going to 25 Mazda dealers' websites. I'm telling them what I want through the contact tab, and then I'm going to see who has a vehicle. That's the fastest way possible. That step in our process takes 20 minutes. If now that's what I said. You can try to do it your way, or you can use my templates and scripts, because my scripts are copy and paste. But you're not going to do this calling. It's hard because you don't know who has what car. That's why we go to all the dealers' websites and we reach out to them in 20-25 minutes. So once we know who has a car, then we have a conversation by email with those who have a car. It's the best way possible. There's no way better than that. Like, there's you going into a dealer, you calling dealers. No. We know when we reach out to 25 dealers, there's a chance maybe 10 of them have a car we want. Maybe 8 of them have a car we want. If none of them have a car we want, then that means that car is either sold out or you're in between model years, which means it's sold out. The 2024s are sold out. We haven't gotten the 2025s yet. If we connect with 25 dealers and no one has a car we want, or only one person has a car we want, then that means that car is not in the market anymore. In which case, it's better for us to know that than walking into dealers, wasting our time looking for something that doesn't even exist. It's the best way. It's the best way. Everything else is a waste of time. Go ahead, Dolan. Okay, good morning. I bought the book and right now analyzing my equity. I owe $36,000 on the vehicle. It's a 2024 Mazda CX-5, but the only offers I've gotten so far are $23,000. Why are we looking to get out of a car? It's a 2024. Manual appraisal to see if I get a better deal. My question is, because there's such a big difference in equity, why are we trying to get out of a car that's a brand new car that just came out? I wonder if I should keep the vehicle for 8 years. Okay, wait. Okay, so you bought it. So you bought the vehicle. My question is, because there's such a big difference in equity, I wonder if I should keep the vehicle for 8 years. What do you think? What's my goal is to go into a lease. Okay, because I know I'm paying too much for a truck. I don't plan on keeping it. All right. Thank you for that. So it makes sense. Bought a car. should be leasing, paying too much for it because you bought it. $40-something thousand Mazda CX-5. You owe $36,000 on it. All right. Now that makes sense. Because I always tell people, if you've had a car for a couple years and you're thinking, some people say, Deshone, I know I'm not an 8-year person. I'm breaking the 8-year rule. Should I go into a lease now? And my answer to them is always yes, because there's no benefit in you waiting. There's no benefit in you waiting to, pay off the car and then go lease. But this is a case where this vehicle is extremely new. And then you realize, okay, I shouldn't have bought it. I should have leased it. So what you're at the mercy at right now is the equity position, because y'all know what this means, right? Depreciation. This is your vehicle right now. So the minute you drove off the lot, you lost 20%. So if that vehicle was a market value of $40,000, and then you drove off the lot, you lost, now it's worth 34. Now it's worth 38, whatever it's worth. The point is, you lost a huge amount of value. So you're trying to, that's the biggest value that you can lose in a vehicle. Is a brand new vehicle. A year later, it's worth 20% less. So trying to replace it in that time is going to be extremely hard. Now, what I would tell you is, you didn't overpay. You just purchased your car. And you might have overpaid too. I'm not going to say you didn't overpay. So the key is, you could put your deal on the right. You could have a wrong structure for your life, which is you purchased when you should have leased, and you could overpay. Now, what we need to do is see what can we do at this particular point. You can only see where's your break even, or do you want to transfer with negative equity, or do you want to wait until you're at a break even and then transfer into a lease? The soon as you could do that, the better. And I'm gonna tell you something. I had a close friend of mine. He's actually a business partner of mine, and he came into the system and he learned my system, and he had a Kia Telluride. Wasn't going to use it, but we're doing some business together. He's a banker, and we're about to build this banking application. So happens his Kia Telluride gets totaled. His wife has an accident. His Kia Telluride gets totaled. He didn't know about leasing either. He didn't know about the 8-year rule either. So he said, Deshone, so I'm gonna use this bidding system that you create. I'm gonna use the system, because why not? But what I found is, I'm not an 8-year person, so I'm gonna go for a lease. I said, okay. Getting the same vehicle, Kia Telluride. Hits me last week. We go out to dinner. He's like, so I'm picking up my Telluride, and then we'll go out to dinner afterwards. He said, I got him under $500 a month. It was like $479 on a Kia Telluride that I was just paying $800 for a month. I said, well, congratulations, man. He said, man, listen, it's just deal structure. So he's driving the same vehicle. In fact, he got a brand new one. And that's the revelation that most people are going to make. And that's really the big revelation, because the amount of money you're going to save is just going to be amazing. But you have to see at this point now, when does that make sense? Because I just bought this vehicle. It lost a ton of value naturally, because that's what it does. Depreciation has set in. I would do my equity assessment and keep doing it. I do it probably once every 6 months, once every year, and see you're paying $623 a month for it. Yeah. You could lease that same vehicle. I mean, think about this. And I'm just telling you so you can have a target. If you go right now and you transfer, okay, so let's just say a phenomenal offer on that, because, Tiffany got a Mazda. She got a Mazda. Now, she didn't lease it, she bought it, but she got $6,000 off the vehicle, $6,500. Let's just say that $43,000 vehicle, let's just say she could lease that for like, $425 a month. We don't know what her best offer would have been if she leased it. But if it's $4 something a month, then you overpaid because deal structure. And, if you put money down, that's more money that you overpaid. So you have to now have a goal and say, all right, this is a correction of a mistake. If the damage is done, Just understand that the damage is done. Wrong deal structure is it's done. So all you can do from here is say, all right, I know what my next goal is. I'm going to move from this vehicle to my next vehicle in a lease, and I'm going to do it when it financially makes sense to do. That's all you could do. It's a purchase. You didn't necessarily you're not paying 623 because you necessarily got a bad deal. You're paying 623 because you bought a brand new car. So you should just focus on, all right, do your equity assessment every 6 months, enjoy the car. It's not going to be forever. Hopefully in the next 12 months, 18 months, the equity position levels out where you can make a move from the car. And if you put a little money down, it'll help you. But think about that. Think about this, y'all. Real scenario. And we're not, and look, your story is going to help you if you follow this plan, but it's also going to help people who are going to be in your situation and who can avoid it. Because really, you probably, in order to get 623 a month, you either got a long loan, maybe 6-year loan, put a little money down. But what are we talking about? When you can replace that car, we're not talking about you getting any of that back because you're not going to get it back. If we could break even right now, that would be a blessing because you can move freely. So we're just praying to get to a point where you could break even, which means whatever money you put down, gone. Whatever the $600 something you're escaping to go into the lower lease payment, gone. So this is why I'm telling you guys, if you're not keeping your cars 8 years, you should only be shopping for great lease deals. It's impossible to get a great deal if you purchase a car, but you should have leased. Impossible. And I will tell this for everyone who's willing to listen, not be emotional, not listen to what Dave Ramsey's been telling them for years, because these are the facts. These are numbers. And I put this advice up against anyone in the world. Numbers are numbers. I love numbers. So here's what you do, LaKenya. Don't beat yourself up. Enjoy your new car. You could afford it, but you just know, future-wise, I'm going to be getting great lease deals, and I'm going to take the strategizing in it and the shopping for cars and understanding financial literacy with cars extremely serious because I'm never going to repeat this again. Let it be an anchor to you to never go out here winging the process again, because this is your money. So the info is available. Run your equity assessment. When it makes sense to transfer it over, shop for your next car, get bids so that you can save all the money you need to save and then go into a lease. That's all we could do. That's all we could do. I will shout from the hills, y'all. People say you only talk about leasing. They don't listen. 8-year plus people, no. We should be buying. If that's the most important question, how many years are we keeping the car? 8 years? We're going to buy it because we're going to outlive the depreciation. We know depreciation looks like this. It's the unseen expense. These are the first couple years, and then it levels out like this to where my car is not losing value. Okay, good. No money down, 72 months. Good. All right. There you go. Then just do what I said. At least you didn't lose any money. It's just the overpayment is going to be for the purchase. You probably got a good price on the car. Just make sure that you run the equity assessment. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. And in the long run, you'll be fine. You're fine now. You could afford it. You just want to go into another car. Like I said, my man just did the same thing. My partner just did. He didn't know. See, if you didn't know, then it's just in the back of your mind. But he knows now. I was driving a Kia Telluride paying almost $800 a month. Now I'm in the same Kia Telluride paying under $500. Under $500. My payment is $479 or whatever it was. Same exact car. There's people pulling up next to him in the same car, but because they were told purchase your cars, don't lease, they're paying $300-400 more per month than he is. Just so they can say, oh, we purchased. Meanwhile, they're going to trade it in 3, 4, 5 years and do it all over again. Now, if they were keeping that Telluride, if they said we purchased this and we're going to drive this till the wheels fall off, we're going to have this in our household 10 years. One day we come out, it has 200,000 miles on it. It doesn't start. It's 12 years old. That's when we get rid of it. Then that's when you purchase. 8 years, 10 years, 12 years, you outlive the depreciation. You dodge this bullet. You don't replace your cars when it's dropping in value like this. And that's how you win. Long-term ownership. If you're not going for long-term ownership, then you should be shopping for great lease deals. That's the plan. That's the structure. Everything I taught from the stream on this stream is in my new book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's not just the science of deal structure and proper deal structure. It's the science of car shopping from home and making dealers and banks bid for your business instead of negotiating. So all of you if you don't like negotiating, if you don't like not understanding car deals, you will love this because it's going to work and empower you. You become the prize. People should be trying to win your business. You shouldn't be in one dealership or 2 dealerships trying to talk them into selling you a car and doing you the honor of selling you a car. You should be sitting at home and letting banks and dealers come to you and win your business. We're the prize in this. So our strategies and our systems reflect that. We are the prize. And the 20% of dealers and the 20% of banks that do the best deals, they don't mind competing. They don't mind showing us that, yes, you are the prize. And here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to beat all my competition's prices just to show you that I really do want your business. Thank you. Those are the people we do business with. So that's all in my book. You can get your copy for 75% off. It's normally $97, but you can get yours in my TikTok bio and in my Instagram bio. Just click that link and click the button that says get my new book 75% off, and you can get it for $24. But if you've been to the website and that timer started running, then when you go back, the price will be $97. It's on you to decide if, listen, I need this information. If I missed the $24 deal, I'm taking the $97. I need this information because this information will net you thousands of dollars on your first transaction. You saw what it did for Tiffany, $6,500 off her first car using the book. So get it in my bio or in the link. We put a comment in the Facebook section, in the Facebook and YouTube comments, deshonsbook.com. And if you're watching us on TV, of course, you can use your mobile phone. You can scan that QR code. And for all of you who want to attend my free masterclass, it's called Everything You're Doing Wrong, Buying, Selling, and Leasing Cars. You can also click that link and attend it. You'll need about an hour though, and you'll need a pen and pad because we go very deep into leasing versus buying and 23 other mistakes that you're making that you don't know you're making. So you can do that. You can attend that, or you can attend that in my TikTok and Instagram bio as well. Like I always say, I make the information available. You get in where you fit in. Just get the information. All right. Great stream today. I appreciate everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next one. God bless you.